Namaste everyone, Hari Om. Start. Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopashantaye Dorviryukta Chaturbhe Sphatikamanimagim Akshamalam Dadhanam Hastenaikkena Padmam Sitamapi Chashukam Pustakam Chaparena Bhasa Kundenu Shankar Sphatikamaninibha Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevateyam Nivasatu Vadane Sarvada Suprasanna Pujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavitashakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Simhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shanvan Rama Kathanadam Konayati Param Gatim Goshpadi Krita Varashim Mashaki Krita Rakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra tatra Kritamastakāñjalim Bāshpavari Paripurnalochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Vaidehi Sahitam Suradrumatale Aime Mahamantape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimaye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjanasute Tattvam Munibhyah Param Vyakhyantam Bharatadibhih Parivritam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai cha tasyai janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendrayamanilebhyo Namostu Chandrarkamarudganebhyah. Okay. Namaste everyone. Hari Om. Start.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Last week I was not there, but I listened to the audio and you were talking about the Shabri. And even in Ramcharitamanas Aranyakand, it clearly says that Kandamula Falasuras Ati Diye Rama Kavani Prema Sahit Prabhu Khaye Baram Bara Bakhani. It says that delicious juices Kanda Mool or Fal Ramji could given to Sri Ramji, and he has taken it. And every time he was just doing her praise and how beautiful good foods are given. There is no mention about Shabri eating the fruit and giving the what you call that
Correct.
Correct. Nothing is there.
Yeah. So basically that is a misinterpretation you can say. It's just been mentioned. So for those who have attended the last session, or if you missed it, you would have listened to the audio. So we had a discussion, right? So wherein Shabri, she has eaten the fruits and then offered it. So the Valmiki Ramayanam is not mentioned. Sanjeev ji has checked in the Ramcharitamanas also. It's just mentioned that fruits were very juicy, they were very good, and Rama has consumed that happily. Nowhere there is an interpretation that Shabri has eaten it and then given. So it is basically, now you see, so through this, at least the 30 people who are here, so now including mine, our eyes are wide open now. Then who said that Shabri has eaten the fruits and given? We saw in maybe a movie, we saw in maybe a TV serial and so on, right? So therefore, it is not wrong. Maybe the way some people look at it, or the way some people have understood it. So he consumed the fruits that were offered by her. So maybe one person would have done some assumption saying that she has consumed it and given. And in bhakti, anything can be done. In bhakti, no doubt anything can be done, but not to the extent that you go beyond your principles, right? Now, if you are so much engrossed in bhakti, then, and if you have so much love and affection for your own family members, would you do this? You will have something, and from your plate only you will tell someone else that no, I have licked all this, you have this. We don't do that, right? So Rama did not do anything crossing the ethics or principles that is there. So you have now proof of at least 2 Ramayanas where it is mentioned that the juicy fruits were offered to Rama and he ate them very happily, just as he also said. In the Valmiki Ramayana also you have the same reference. So from where then has come that Shabri has tasted it and then given to Rama. So always be very, very careful when such misconceptions are made, because it is very easy for such rumors to pass. That is the reason you see that in spite of not having its mention in anywhere, we still believe, or most of us believe and know that Shabri has tasted the fruits and given it to Rama, right? So therefore, you have to be very, very careful when such statements are made. Of course, now, what will happen if I believe in such things? There's nothing wrong in that, but then we must know what is the truth, right? And at the same time, we must know that Rama did not do anything, nor did Shabri do anything beyond the rules and ethics that which a normal human being follows. So under the name of bhakti and religion, and this is like an eye-opener that is there for all of us before we delve into today's part, that this is a reason why many people from outside our country, people from other religions, other beliefs, they always look upon Hinduism, you can say more than Hinduism, about our culture with one notion down, saying that these people will do anything under the name of religion, or under the name of bhakti they will end up doing anything. We can do anything for devotion and bhakti, but at the same time not just breaking rules and breaking the ethics and principles which we follow to the extent that someone has already licked the food and we will consume that, or someone has tasted the food, same thing we will eat. It is not at all like that. That is the reason, if you see, whenever we make some prasad also at home, you have a laddu or something like that, even if maybe for 4 or 5 people one laddu is given, what we do? We will always break that laddu and give, right? It's not that I take a bite and then we pass it on. Maybe small children, they might do that because they don't know. Apart from that, as elders, we never do that. Or you can, if you, I don't know how many of you believe in, or you have seen our own grandmothers, grandfathers, or even some senior people, whenever they eat something, if you closely observe them how they eat, like maybe like a banana or fruit, anything you give them, they will never directly keep it to their mouth. They will break it and then only put. Even you give them a banana, they will break the banana from their hands and then put the piece inside the mouth. Most of us, how we do? Once we remove the skin, we directly keep it to our mouth. They have the practice of not doing that. They will not touch anything from their mouth, and for that there is a very beautiful explanation saying that someone else comes in the between. Like if I have to offer them something or they are hungry, something like that, once we have eaten, I cannot offer that, right? So if I break and eat, someone comes also, I can give them, right? Yes, some people follow this. So those who don't follow, it is like, it's not that we don't want to follow, but it's like we don't know about many things. Or even if you go to any temples or so, the prasad that they give, many of them will not have inside the temple. They will come outside and have. Or even inside this, I myself have experienced. I remember in one of those temples as a kid then, back 3-4 years back, when hands are not washed, so you have to wash your hands. This is one thing. Or maybe you need not eat at that time. This is a very common thing. But you should not put it to your mouth. Or if you want to place something to your mouth, you ensure that you eat it directly, right? Without offering to anyone. Yes. So this I myself have observed, wherein some prasadas given to me, it was given to me. Some prasad, I don't remember what exactly it is. And I, as a kid back then, I was slowly keeping it to my mouth, biting and eating, just as children do, if you see. I'm not very small, maybe in 5th, 6th or so, about 10-12 years. And at that time, I still remember that I was not eating in the middle, of course, I went to a side and I was eating. I still remember a person coming, an elderly person coming and telling, saying that, no, why are you eating like this? Don't eat it this way. Break open and eat it, or else you go outside and you eat it. And that was a lesson for me. So when first when he came and told me, I was surprised, because though it's not that I did not know about this. My parents, everyone, though they had told me about this, when someone gives us something to eat, immediately you put it in the mouth, right? Or we have if it is big, we will bite. So it's not that we do it on purpose, but we are used to it. And then when that person comes and tells, at that time we remember and know about. We tell that, oh, this is not the way of eating, you have to break and eat it. So like this, there are many things that are followed, and this is the reason why we also tell our children, and when they lick their hands, even today you see many people will lick their hands and eat. You should not lick your hands at all and eat, especially only when maybe you go to a good restaurant on this and that, maybe people follow some ethics, right? The same ethics has been told in our own texts. Through this incident of Shabri only we learn so many, even good food habits, or a very nice term is given, right? Table manners. What is table manners? At home, the same person will use all his 5 fingers, hands, maybe it will go even up till his elbow and he will eat. But you have maybe having it in a nice table also. No, I cannot use my hands, he will say. You'll have a fork, a knife, you'll place your table, your towel, this, that, everything, and then the person has it. So depending on the situation, we change ourselves. But licking of the food as per Ayurveda Shastram, as per the Gita, and also as per the Sundarakandam also, you have a reference to this. Lehyam, there is something called lehyam. What is lehyam? Lehyam are those category of foods which can be licked and eaten. Does anyone know what is a lehyam? What category of food comes in this part? Chavanprash. What else?
Namada Deepavali lehyam, Deepavali marandhu.
No. That lehyam is not the Tamil lehyam. That is different.
No. Means under consistency, like under that
consistency. Okay.
That consistency.
But Chavanprash and lehyam, as Nalini ji, Ramachandran ji, you say that can be eaten with a spoon also, right?
Okay.
But what you said is correct. Both of you, what you said is correct. What else? Raghunath ji? Huh? Payasam. But payasam is liquid.
Okay.
Or semi
Butter.
Butter.
Very big house.
Okay, but butter you
What
don't.
about honey?
Huh? Honey, butter, everything you can use a spoon in it.
Huh?
Sukku, that is okay. That you can eat. Nellikai. But that is all solid, right? If you say molagu, amla and all that. Rajanji has picked up the right thing. Chutneys or even pickle that we have. It's called avalehaha. These are two things. Now, pickle nobody can eat with a spoon, right? And even a chutney you cannot eat with a spoon. With a spoon you can put on your plate, but we cannot eat that completely with a spoon. Reason being, if you take say 1 spoon pickle, we don't eat the 1 spoon together. Whereas in the case of chamanprash, honey and all that, if you take it with a spoon, you can put the entire spoon in your mouth. So these are exceptions as per Ayurveda Shastram. Lehyam is something like a semi-solid state, which now like a pickle or chutney, not liquid nor solid, and at the same time it cannot be consumed fully in one go. You with your entire dish, it is like a side dish, which throughout the dish, throughout your meal, you are going to use that. And how can you eat a lehyam, that is a chutney and a pickle? You have to use your fingers. You have to use it to lick, right? Only then it tastes good, or that is only the way of eating a pickle or chutney. So as per Ayurveda Shastram, only for a side dish which is called as abalehaha, there is an exception of using your fingers and licking. Rest everything, we should not lick our hands at all. Now
What is it, ma'am? Is it avaleha?
Avaleha and visarga.
Avaleha.
Yes. Now avaleha generally is used for a pickle, but sometimes it is also used for side dish like chutney, or like someone said like podi and all such things, whatever you have as a side dish. And one more exception is for small children. Small children, they lick their hands, but to them also right from a young age we tell them no, do not lick your hands and so on, right? So these are all like main, what I am saying is these are all good practices which have been told, and when we stress upon so many things, then we should not jump on the conclusion to say that Shabri has eaten something, she licked, she has tasted, and the same thing she has given it to Rama. So this is very, very wrong. So then did Rama not follow the rules of Ayurveda Shastra? So under the name of bhakti and devotion, we are deteriorating our own culture, which is very, very wrong. Okay. Now coming back.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
1 second. I have gone through other 3 Ramayans also. One is Jain Ramayana. Second is Bhavarta Ramayana by Eknath Marathi.
Yes.
And one is Ramayana Manavta Ka Mahakavya by Gulwanta Shah.
Yes. It is
Where
also.
it mentioned that Shabri has given her tested fruit to
Yes.
Rama.
So yes, in all the Ramayanas.
They got 5 references total.
Yes.
Valmiki Ramayanam and Ramachandran and these 3 references that over it's written.
Yeah.
But ma'am, even in, there is one Tyagaraja Kruti which also says Shabri tasted and gave it to Rama.
Did you note the line there? What he says in that?
No.
You're talking about Bhavayami, right?
No. Entanike Shabari.
Endanike Shabri, in that you note down the lyrics properly, and maybe if Tyagaraja has composed, I don't think it will be that way. But then still, if you just note down the lyrics, you can note down. In that also, so what he says is Shabri has tasted and then given. But of course she had tasted and then given the fruits. He nowhere mentions that she tasted and the same fruits were given to Rama. Right?
Yeah, as we go to the market and just take a part
that
of
is
the
same.
fruit and then buy the rest, no?
So basically what I'm trying to say through all this is that people, when they interpret, just because they want to point fingers towards Shabri, Rama and our own culture, that's where they say that she has tasted and the same thing has been given, how is this possible? And then some people, without knowing the right meaning, our own people say, yes, in the name of bhakti you can do anything. You cannot do anything in the name of bhakti, right? So when you interpret, you have to be very, very careful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Kamalaji, when you say that for young children, girls up to puberty, boys up to Upanayanam, that is fine. But then up till Upanayanam and puberty also, where they are not very young kids, it is only meant for babies. Make a note of this. That is the reason.
Yeah, Hari Om Lakshmi. What I meant was old days. So nowadays, Upanayanam is before the marriage.
Nowadays,
Previous day of marriage also they are doing.
They are doing.
Previously
People.
it used to be 7 years.
Yes.
So that time it was followed like that.
Yeah, but then people are doing. So that doesn't mean that Upanayanam has to be done before marriage, right? So it is for maximum. Starts with 7 till maximum 9, not more than that. So Upanayanam, though people are doing, that is because that's a wrong way. You should not do it. Why they are doing for in marriage? It has to be done, so they do it. That is a very wrong way. So that means till the age of 25 or 30, the person does not know anything, right? So it is very, very wrong. And in case of puberty, as you say, in girls, that is 10 or 12. So that has got, of course, that is not in our hands, right? So that's it depends. But in the case of Upanayanam, it has to be done. In the case of boys, 7 or maximum 9. But that has got nothing to do with these habits that are there. So this lehyam and licking is restricted to 2 or 3, or maybe like a few fruits which we have to consume, like especially now summer season, you have mangoes and all. So in that you don't have an option. So in extreme cases it is fine when you don't have an option. Apart from that, licking and like Shabri has tasted and given all this, we should not jump to conclusions. Okay, now let us start with topic for today, that is Sundarakandam. We were looking at Sundarakandam of Sankshepa Ramayana.
Ma'am, 1 second. Lehyam in Sanskrit, what you told, is it solid?
No,
Yes,
no, it is semi-solid, kind of
Semi-solid.
like, yeah. So mainly things that can be licked like you can say pickle and all that. So wherein you don't have an option. Little you have to take. That is not a part of the main meal. Little you just touch and take along with your main meal. That, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now let's start. Sundarakandam we were looking at of Sankshepa Ramayanam. You have the verses in front of you. Okay, before I proceed, I just wanted to ask now, about 7-8 classes are done. I hope till now everyone has understood everything. There is no doubt anywhere.
No.
No. What about the others? If there is no doubt, there is only 2 possibilities. You understand everything or you don't understand anything. Okay, let me not put it that way.
Understood. Yeah, understood. Yeah, Lakshmiji.
Okay.
It was very nice.
So,
And thanks a lot.
okay, so should I start asking questions then?
Yes.
Okay. So mainly why I'm asking is more than understanding. I hope you are liking the sessions and it is interesting. It should not be boring that you come every Sunday getting up 1 hour I have to listen. That should not be the case. So is there anyone like that?
No, we are enjoying. We are trying to grasp more and more.
Yeah, so that is very, very important. Of course. Yes.
Except questions we can ask.
Okay. So.
I'm just joking.
So yes, so in case there is someone, it's maybe even if you feel it boring also, maybe you cannot tell me directly. But then why I'm asking is, it should not happen. We are just moving about ahead. You see new things and then you don't understand what is going on at all. Okay. And one more thing is, because now Ramayanam is big, and in case you miss a class also, once the recording is being shared, ensure that you go through that. I would say that even for people who attend the live class also, when you get time, by the time you come next week, if possible, maybe not the entire session, maybe 1.5 hours or so, you cannot look, about 20 minutes over the week. As you get time, you can listen to that, just for the reason that you remember what we are doing, you can grasp what is being done. Okay.
You can from Bangalore.
Yeah.
So I am not getting the recorded classes.
You are not there in the group, Neelakantanji?
I am in the group right from beginning.
So I'm sharing in that only. Just check once. In case you're not having, you send me a message, I will share. Okay?
Okay, thank you, madam. Good day.
Yeah.
Madam, nowadays this is happening because in most of my other groups also, when you send a message, some people are getting it, some are not getting it.
That is because of that disappearing message that most of you would have activated on your phones.
Probably.
Yes, so just check that. That disappearing message feature, at least in my phone, it is not there, so it will not disappear for the messages that I send. So all of you check your disappearing messages settings. Maybe some people do it 7 days, 1 month, and all that. So the messages go away. So in the group that I have made, I have not disabled it, but from your end, if you have disabled, then you will lose out the messages. So ensure that you off that at least for our group that is there, the Valmiki Ramayana lectures group. So you off that setting so that yes, you don't get it.
If you opt for that option, especially for this group, the message will
come, right? And I will also share the playlist link also, so that in case you don't have it in the group, then you can go to the playlist and check. Anyway, you have all the audios. Yeah. Okay. Now let's start learning. Now, last time if you see Sundarakandam, we had delved into and we saw that Hanuman goes and meets Rama. At that time, Rama makes the statement, Nunam vyakaranam kritsnam anena bahuda ashrutam bahuvya haratanena lakinchidapashabditam. Wherein Rama tells Lakshmana that this person seems to have studied the whole of grammar. When he says whole of grammar, make a note, it is 9 different types of grammar as we had discussed, Nava Vyakarana Pandita. And why so? Because kinchidapashabditam, na kinchidapashabditam, not even a single mispronunciation is there in whatever he speaks in his entire speech. The way he speaks is very, very important, Lakshmana. This is what Rama tells, praising the communication skills of Hanuman. Next, Sugrivaya cha tatsarvam shamsadramo mahabalaha aditastadyatha vrittam sitayascha visheshataha. Now, if you see the transition between verse 58 and 59, now this is Samkshepa Ramayanam, right? So, in that what happens is, see, 58, 59 is where Rama meets Hanuman, that's it. But here, 59, the transition is where Rama is telling all the story to Sugriva. So, in between, because this is Samkshepa Ramayana, it is going to be in gist. So, in between you have Hanuman taking Rama and Lakshmana, introducing them to to Sugriva, Jambavan, Nala, Neela and all others. And finally now Sugriva and Rama meeting each other and Rama telling all the story. Sugrivaya jatat sarvam shamsad ramo mahabalaha. Shamsad meaning whatever has happened. Adi is right from the beginning. Tatha vrittam sitayascha visheshataha. Here we have to note one thing. Here he has mentioned that Aditas tadhyata vrittam. Aditaha tat yatha vrittam. Right from the beginning, whatever has taken place, Rama tells everything to Sugriva. But Sitayascha visheshataha. Most importantly about Sita. Why so? Because that is of main interest now. Where Rama was born, what he did, where he went, till that it is fine. In which garden I went to play, whom I met on day 1, whom I met on day 2, what I did in my first 12 years of my life, how I won over Sita, what was the entire process, Parshurama came in, so much of detail is not needed. I was born in Ayodhya, I spent a time, my childhood there, in Sita Swayamvara, Sita was married to me. Then we went to the forest as per the boons of Kaikai, we have stayed there, then finally Ravana came there, and from here upon he starts talking upon in detail. Now why Rama does this? Why he did not tell everything in detail to Sugriva? From this is a life lesson for us. We spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees to learn soft skills and communication skills, right? Or you have so many people, they will tell no, communication is the key, this and that. Communication is the key, no doubt. But we say that you be very brief, right? Or give me a brief introduction. What is that brief? Meaning in short, you tell me. Or I'll give you a very common question. I suppose most of you are seniors here, but you would have worked somewhere, right? Or even if you have not worked, in general someone asks you to tell me about yourself, the first question in any interview. Some people will start, my name is so and so, I am born here, I live here, my parents are this, my parents are that. That should never be answered at all. Like when I'm giving you these experiences, I have gone through this in my work flow. I go through this every day. And then I end up telling the person, saying that, why you're telling me so much? Rather than directly asking him, I tell the person that is all fine. You tell me on the work front what you're doing. That means, what is the difference if you see, whenever I call a person or the person comes and approaches me, the person is telling, no, I am born in so and so, I live here, I do this, I did my schooling here, I did my schooling there. I tell him, no, what you are doing in my work front, that you tell. That is, through this conclusion, what we jump is, whatever is of interest to me that I want to know. Where you are born, what you do, what your parents do, where's your schooling you have done, that is on one part of the story. So here also Rama, here of course it's not an interview, it's a personal scenario, not a professional any speech that's going on. But still, Rama said that, now I don't want to waste time. In short, I am given my introduction. Now let me mainly talk about what is of importance here. This is a life lesson to all of us, especially people like me who keep on speaking on things which are not at all related. Right? So, Sitayashta Visheshataha, why Valmiki has mentioned this very, very clearly, and from this how we can learn. So, Ramayana, if you see, it should not be looked upon just as the story. Okay, Rama comes and goes away. Everyone knows the Ramayana. How it can be a learning for us, that is very, very important, wherein Sitayascha Visheshataha, he talks mainly about Sita, because that is which is of prime focus here. He wants the help of Sugriva in this, and mainly he wants to tell about Sita so that Sugriva can help him somehow. Whatever has happened in the past, nothing Sugriva has to do about that. Where he has to take his action is with regards to Sita's abduction. So learning for all of us is, whenever you are speaking in a situation, or you're speaking to someone, even in general also, I'm not talking about just normal gossip or talks that we have. Chit-chatting is different. But whenever you want something to be done, or you go to an office or something, you go to a bank or something like that, there you see some people, they will tell everything. I am born here, I did this, I did that, I went there. And then the person will get frustrated, he'll tell, okay, now what you want, that you tell me. So it is very important to come to the main topic that is there, with, of course, with a small introduction. That is also important. Directly you start, no, this is my problem, you tell me what I have to do. That is also a wrong way. So just as Rama did, Aditas Tadyata Vrittam Sitayashta Visheshataha. He started introducing and tells whatever has happened. He gives a proper background, but mainly he focuses upon talking on Sita's abduction. Next. Sugrivaschapi tatsarvam shutva ramasya vanaraha chakara sakhyam ramena pritaschaivaagni sakshikam. Pritaha cha eva agni sakshikam. So keeping Agni, yes.
Sorry, ma'am, when you are reciting that slokam, thoda, slowly.
Slowly.
So that I think, matlab, you're expert. On the speed, I'm not able to catch up to your speed.
Okay. So, so with this, Pritaha cha eva agni sakshikam. You can, if you want, to note down the breakup. So, Rama along with Sugriva, both of them in the presence of Agni, fire, they make a pact, friendship, wherein after Sugriva listening to whatever Rama said, both of them decided to be friends. Tato vanararajena vairānukathanam prati Ramaya veditam sarvam pranaya dukkhitena cha. Vairānu here is Vairam anukathanam prati. Vaira is sorrow, so full of sorrow. Now Sugriva also, because Rama had told him everything, now Sugriva also tells his part of the story. And Ramaya veditam sarvam, avedita meaning to convey, tells him everything. Pranaya dukkhitena cha. Vanara Rajam here is referred to Vali, because at that time Vali was the king. And Pranaya dukkhitena cha, full of sorrow, Sugriva tells Rama about his part of the story, how his wife Ruma was taken away, is taken by Vali, and how he was thrown out of the kingdom, and so on. So Sugriva tells his part of the story. Pratikñātam cha Ramena tada Valivadam prati Valinascha balam tatra kathayamasa vanaraha.
Lakshmiji?
Yes.
I'm unable to see the screen. Is it being shared?
Everyone can see, right? Yes.
Yes.
Geeta ji, maybe there is some network issue. Geetu ji, you just leave and join. Then I think it should be visible.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. pratiknyatam cha Rame. So immediately listening to the story of Sugriva, Rama takes a vow, pratiknya, tada Vali vadam prati, that I'll kill Vali. Before that, Sugriva, whenever, as soon as Rama made this pledge, Sugriva starts talking about the strength of Vali, how he is great and so on. He tells him the entire story about how Vali had. Now, all this reference you will have in detail in the Balakandam, and mainly in the Kishkinda Kandam you have the full detail. That's it. More than Balakandam, in the Kishkinda Kandam it's given in detail about Vali's strength, whom all he had defeated, and also how he had got a curse. And that's the reason why I am living here, because in the Rishyamukha Parvata Vali cannot come due to a curse. सुग्रीवशङ्कितश्चासीत् नित्यं वीर्येण राघवे राघव प्रत्ययार्थं तु दुन्दुभेः कायमुत्तमं दर्शयामास सुग्रीवो महापर्वतसन्निभम्. But now Sugriva was a bit doubtful of Rama, and he tells Rama that you have to convince me that you can surely defeat Vali. This was because Sugriva had seen Vali always as a very strong warrior, and he had always faced defeat in the hands of Vali. So therefore he wanted to test or rather see how Rama can, when Rama says that I will kill Vali, so he wanted to test the powers of Rama. And at that time he says that there is a huge dead body, so skeleton of Dundubi, an Asura Dundubi. So he just showed him that, and Rama with his toe, he just touched the skeleton and it flew away. So that it itself showed the power of Rama. Mahaparvata Sannibam, the skeleton, the dead body of Dundubi was very big. Mahaparvata, like a huge mountain. Utsmayitva Mahabahuhu Prekshya Chasti Mahabalaha Padanguštena Chikshepa Sampurnam Dashayojanam. Utsmayitva Mahabahu. Utsmayitva meaning to smile. Ut is a pratisargam like a prefix. Utsmayitva. And here Mahabahu is another name for Rama here, one having long arms. Ajanubahu, Mahabahu. Preksha Chasti Mahabalaha, he just smiled. And Padanguštena Chikshepa, with the toe, his leg toe, he just kicked the dead body, that Sampurnam Dashayojanam, entire body, the entire skeleton, it flew about 10 yojanas, right? That is about 80 miles. बिभेद च पुनः सालान् सप्तैकेन महेशुनः गिरिं रसातलं चैव जनयन् प्रत्ययं तथा. Again Sugriva was not still convinced. So that's when the 7 sal trees that were there in one line, they were standing. Rama released an arrow and all the 7 trees, they fell down in one go. And nearby it not only hit the 7 trees, it also Girim, there was a Girim there, that's a mountain nearby, and the Rasatala. Rasatala is one of the hills. We have 7 hills, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala. It's like that Rasatala. The arrow went and finally went into Rasatala. So 7 sal trees were destroyed. Then the next was the mountain which was broken, and ultimately the arrow went down to Rasatalam. And looking at this, finally Sugriva was convinced that Rama can. Rajesh, you want to say something?
Rasatala is again another mountain.
No. Rasatala, mountain in general is Girim, and Rasatala is hell. Hell, H-E-L-L, hell.
Okay, Rasatala.
So the arrow went so deep that it reached Rasatala. Rasatalam Chaiva. Girim Rasatalam Chaiva. Girim in general is a mountain which was a nearby mountain. Rasatala, we have 7 hells that are mentioned and 7 heavens. Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, like this. There are heavens, and hell there are 7. Talatala, Patala, Rasatala, and so on. So depending on each one's sins and good deeds, it is believed that people go to heaven and hell. In that also there is not one heaven, one hell. On what kind of sins and what kind of good deeds we do, we go to hell and heaven. So this is a belief that is there. All this reference you get in the Garuda Purana in detail. So Girim and Rasatalam, this Rasatala is down. So the arrow that was shot by Rama was so powerful that after cutting the 7 trees, it burst open. That is, it hit a mountain and the mountain burst open. And finally it went to Rasatala, down in Patala, that it just vanished. So looking at this, finally Sugriva was convinced with the might of Rama. Tatah pritamanastena vishwastasya. Now note here, it should, anyone has got the original book, you're sitting with that? Yes. What is given in that? Vishwastasya or Vishwastassa?
Vishwastaha.
Taha, and what is the next word? Taha is a visarga.
Vishwastasa, Vishwastaha, sa Mahakapi.
Okay. Tatah pritamanastena Vishwastassa Mahakapihi Kishkindam Rama Sahitaha Jagama Chaguham Tada. So now finally Tataha Pritamanastena, finally being happy with whatever Rama had done, and Vishwastassa meaning after believing, and now Sugriva was convinced of the strength of Rama. Kishkindam Rama Sahito, he left for Kishkinda with Rama, which was in the shape of a cave. Guham Tada. Tato Garjad Harivaraha. Note here, Garjad Harivaraha. Hari here is a reference to a monkey. Hari Vishnu, Hari lion, and here Hari is in the Ramayana, especially many places wherever Hari comes in, that is referred to monkey. In the Sundarakanda we have it still in detail. This is Kishkinda Kanda. Sundarakanda we have many places that is that refer to the monkey as Hari. Kapi, Hari, Markataha, and so on. Tato Garjat Harivaraha Sugrivo Hema Pingalaha Tena Nadena Mahata Nirjagama Harishwaraha. Now a doubt might come to all of your minds, saying that what right has Sugriva got to test Rama? And Rama said that. Now if you notice the difference between through the few conversations that we had, you can actually look at the character of Rama and Sugriva. First, Rama told his story about how his wife Sita was abducted. Sugriva does not tell anything. Sugriva says okay, he listens. He makes friendship with Rama. After that, Sugriva tells his part of the story. Immediately Rama tells that I will help you, I will kill your brother Vali. This is a difference between Rama and Sugriva. Sugriva is not wrong, but then he developed doubt in his mind. Immediately he did not say that I will help you in rescuing Sita. Right? This shows the difference between Rama and Sugriva. So this is how in our life also, if you see, two people come in, right? Looking at people, we judge them. Sugriva was not evil, but then he developed doubt in his mind. That is the reason you see few people, whatever happens, they will never have faith. Now, today's times, of course, having faith and trust is also difficult. I agree on that. But then, for each and everything, if you keep on doubting, like, no, you show me. In the case of Rama, you see, he was so patient. He first threw the skeleton of Dundubi away. He cut the sahal trees and and showed it to Sugriva. If it was one amongst us, if someone comes and tells, no, you have to prove, will we do that? We'll say, don't worry, I'll take care myself. You are no one to come and test me. Right? This again shows a difference, and this shows the character of Rama. Rama never in one place, he is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself. He never had that pride in him, saying that I am Vishnu, I am the Lord who has come and met you. Though he is in the form of a Naravatara, he is a human being. That's the reason he is called Purushottamaha. We are also human beings. We are all Purushaha. Purushanam Uttamaha Purushottamaha. Maryada Purushottamaha, as we call Rama, is not simply. Or why we worship Rama, or when people today we say, why is even that Rama God, people ask, right? Or we ourselves sometimes might have this doubt. This is the reason. He need not always go, just because Rama killed Ravana, he has not become a god, or he has not become an inspiration. All these small acts you see, even the conversation that he had between Rama and Sugriva, that itself shows the difference. Sugriva was also an Amsha of Surya himself, of the sun god. Still that qualities are not there in him. Forget about human beings. That is the reason he developed doubt on Rama. Now there is no doubt in doubting someone. Now from Sugriva's point of view also he was correct, because he is meeting Rama for the first time, and already he had a doubt in his mind that Vali would have sent both these princes to kill him. So to test someone is not wrong, because already Sugriva had faced a lot of danger, lot of defeat in the hands of Vali. So maybe he had to do a lot of cross-checking. But still, Rama could have immediately poked upon and said that, who are you to test me, right? Rama did not do that. He was very patient, and this is one thing that shows the character of Rama. Second thing is, when Rama tells a story, Sugriva does not react anything. Sugriva just makes the friendship by keeping Agni as Sakshi, because Agni, we know fire, for all our rituals also we consider Agni as a proof. And but when Sugriva tells a story, Rama immediately says that yes, I am going to kill Vali, I will always save you. So this again shows the friendship that Rama had with Sugriva and how true he was to his words. Will all of us do that? None amongst us will also do like Sugriva. We'll say, okay, I will think and I'll let you know, right? Or if someone comes and says that no, I like a friendship pact here between two people, we'll be very, even if it is with our best of friends also, we'll still think for some time. And you look at Rama, hardly he knew a person about some time back, immediately he tells him that I will help you. So this is a difference that shows the character of Rama. There should be no doubt at all saying that why are we worshipping and looking up. Let us forget about worship. If there is someone who says that I don't believe in God, that is fine. That's your personal choice. But there can be no one who can say that I do not look up upon Rama. Or why, if someone has a doubt, you need not even look upon Rama as your idol or something like that. When people come and say that who is this Rama, your only one simple answer is you study the Ramayana, enjoy it to the fullest, interpret it in the right way, you will get answers to all your questions. Like I gave you an example now. So all these small things, the way we look at each verse is very, very important. Everyone studies the Ramayana, but the way how you interpret it is very, very important. You only have your verses right in front of your eyes. This itself shows the character of Rama and Sugriva. Sugriva is not evil, he is not bad. But then, this is how we say, man's character shows, right? Just by looking at a person, you can make out. Body language shows, character shows. A man is known by his character, by his personality. Rama is a proof of that. That is the reason, even after so many years after the Ramayana is done, we look upon Rama till date. Or at least we know that a person like Rama exists. So this shows the greatness of Rama. Yeah. Tato garjat harivaraha sugrivo hema pingalaha tena nadena mahata nirjagama harishwaraha. Finally, Sugriva enters Kishkinda, garjat, roaring, because now he has got that confidence that Rama is with him. Hema pingalaha, his skin, or you can say his body has become reddish yellow. Tena nadena mahata, he shouts and moves about here and there. Nirjagama harishwaraha, harinam ishwaraha, harishwaraha, king of monkeys. Vali comes out there saying that who is this? Anumanya tadataram sugrivena samagataha nijagana chatatrainam sharenaikena raghavaha. Anumanya tadataram, Tara, wife of Vali. Now she was a very intelligent woman. She told that this time Sugriva is calling you, but Rama, we have got the news that Rama is also, now they had got the news that Rama has made friendship with Sugriva, and Tara was a very intelligent woman. That's why in the list of Panchakanya we have the list of Tara. Ahalya Draupadi Tara, Ahalya Draupadi Sita, Tara Mandodari Tata, Panchakanya Smaren Nityam, Mahapadhavanashanam. Many people have the tradition of chanting this verse every day. Ahalya, Mandodari, Tara, Sita, Tara, Draupadi. So in that this Tara also comes. She was very intelligent. She stops Vali from fighting with Sugriva. Nijagana chatatrainam sharenam aikena. With one arrow, Rama killed Vali. Tadasugriva vachana dhatva valinamahave sugrivameva tadrache raghavav pratyapadayat. After killing Vali, Tata Sugriva Vachanad Hatva Valinamahave. As per the promise given to Sugriva, Vali was killed. Sugriva me vatadrache Raghava Pratyapadayat. Rama installed Sugriva as a king. Note here, Rama installed Sugriva on the Rishyamukha Parvata. Rajyabhisheka was done by Lakshmana. Though we have this words that Raghava Pratyapadayat, in some references, or in most of the references rather, we don't see Rama entering Kishkinda, because as per...
Can you repeat this?
You want to repeat? Sugriva me vatatrache Raghava
Your explanation.
Explanation, okay. So, After killing Sugrivamev tad Rajye Raghava Pratyapadayat, Sugriva was made the king by Rama, this is said, but some say that, or in most of the references you find that Rama did not go to Kishkinda. He did not enter the palace as per his vow. For 14 years he had to live in the forest. Therefore he sent Lakshmana saying that you can do that. Because Lakshmana had just joined Rama, right? Lakshmana and Sita, nobody had told them to stay in the forest for 14 years. Because Rama had gone to the forest, they too followed. So therefore, though it is mentioned here that Rama installed Sugriva, references say that in the commentaries you find that Rama installed Sugriva in the Rishyamukha Parvata only, or on the outskirts of Kishkinda. The actual Rajyabhisheka was done by Lakshmana, not by Rama, because he was not allowed to enter the kingdom. He could have entered, nobody did that, but again, Rama was a Maryada Purushottama, he said no, as per my vows, I will not do that. So this is a thing which we have to note. So one more life lesson for all of us is, just because nobody is seeing us doesn't mean that you can change your ways, right? Now here Rama, nobody was about to come and see whether Rama is entering the palace or what he is doing for 14 years. Is he fully listening to the orders that have been told? Nobody is going to come and check that. But Rama was true to himself, he was true to his promise. Such as our imams. Yes.
The Panchakanya comes Kuntina, madam. Ahilya, Draupadi, Tara, Kunti and Mandodari.
No. Ahilya, Mandodari, Sita, Tara, Draupadi.
Kunti is not here.
Kunti is not. No. Kunti is not a part of that. Ahalya, Draupadi, Sita, Tara, Mandodari. These are the 5. From the Ramayana reference, you have only Draupadi who's there. Now, Kunti, if you see, like Kunti, she has not done a lot of contributions that are there. I'm not saying that she has not contributed, but as per the Panchakanya list, we don't have that. Draupadi, why she is included is because mainly of her calling out to Krishna. Govindam Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. Mainly because she had true faith and bhakti on Krishna and she left everything upon Krishna. So this shows the bhakti and the faith that she had on Krishna. So that is the reason it can be why Draupadi was included in the list of, and also to her second contribution or rather the thing that she did is to marry the 5 Panchapandavas. So marry the Panchapandavas, why then? What is wrong in that? The reason being, Kunti had told that whatever that they had, after the Draupadi Swayamvara, when Arjuna comes with Draupadi, after Arjuna comes with Draupadi, even without looking at what Arjuna had got, Kunti says that you share it among the 5, right? Though the Pandavas were ready to share Draupadi amongst them and make them one wife, Draupadi also readily agreed, right? But of course, here we have to note one thing, though it is not related to Ramayana, I am telling that they did not have a fight, or some people will argue, right? How come one woman can become the husband of 5 men? So if you see, when they begetted sons also, they had a good understanding between them that for certain time period, Draupadi will stay with one husband and then she will move on. So that's how, if you see, all their 5 children also were born separately and so on. So they had a good understanding between them. So that is the reason. And in her previous birth also, Draupadi had asked for a boon that is there, mainly wherein she needed a person. She had prayed to Lord Shiva, she needed a person who followed Dharma, who was physically strong, who was a great archer, who was very handsome to look at, and who also followed Dharma, or you can say all the Shastras. And he also had knowledge of all arts. So one who followed Dharma, Yudhishthira, one who had physical strength, Bhima, one who was a great archer, Arjuna, one who was very handsome to look at, Nakula, one who had a knowledge of Shastras and other arts, Sahadeva. He knew the art of horse riding and so on. That is the reason in the disguise time, in their 13th year, he was a person who took care of horses, right? Rearing of horses and so on. So Shiva at that time told that all these qualities cannot be found in one person. He should be physically strong, he should follow Dharma, he should be a great archer, very handsome. All this cannot be there. So in your next birth, I will ensure that you get 5 husbands who will have, each of them will have one of these qualities. That's how Draupadi had got this. So this can be one reason why Draupadi is included here. Ahalya, Shapa Moksha Rama did. Mandodari, a very great, intelligent woman. who tried to stop Ravana. In spite of being the wife of Ravana, she was very right. Yes, Tara also very intelligent in spite of being the wife of Vali. And Sita we know because of her contributions and being the wife of Rama. So again now, it's not that we have to look at them just because they are the wife of someone. They have their own great contributions also. So therefore they are included in this list. Okay. सच सर्वान् समानीय वानरान् वानरर्षभः दिशः प्रस्थापयामास दिदृक्षुर्जनकात्मजाम्. Now again there is a transition between verse 70 and 72. You have 4 months time that is passed about the rainy season. So wherein Sugriva has got back his kingdom, Rama and Lakshmana are still staying in the Rishyamukha Parvata. They are waiting for 4 months for the rainy season to end so that they can go out in search of Sita. But even after 4 months, Sugriva was such a character that he was indulged in the pleasures of the kingdom. He had just got back his wife Ruma. He was indulged in drinks, entertainment, this and that. So like Indraloka, he was also very pleased. And he forgot his duties. It was delayed by him. So 1-2 days delay happened. Rama also was getting frustrated because mainly his job was being done now. He had got back, Sugriva had got back his wife Ruma. Now Sita's search is still remaining. So again he sends Lakshmana. Lakshmana's fury. He just jumps about here and there. And at that time, first one who comes and cools down Lakshmana was Tara, Vali's wife. And at that time she comes and says that, or even Hanuman, they come and say that Sugriva has already started the search of Sita. He has already ordered all the monkeys to come back and soon we will start the search. So that's how all the monkeys have come from all 4 directions. Now if you see in the Ramayana, when you read the entire original Kishkinda Kandam or those who have seen the Ramayana of Ramanand Sagar, the Hindi version of Ramayana, the geography of the place where all Sugriva was a great geography scholar. He advises the monkeys to go in all 4 directions. He tells them to cover exactly which part of the globe. Indian geography, if you have to study, you have to refer, you have to listen to Sugriva. And you have to go through the Valmiki Ramayana and the Ramcharitmanas also. In that you have reference to all the places that are mentioned where the monkeys go in all 4 directions. Dishah prasthapayamasa. Dishaha in different directions. Sugriva sends his groups of monkeys. Tato gridrasya vachanat sampader hanuman bali shatayo jana vistirnam puplove lavanarnavam. Finally they reach out. Again you see a transition. 71-72. Monkeys go out here and there. Finally the monkeys that move about in the south direction, they reach the southern bank of the river, of the ocean. There they meet Jatayu's brother Sampati, who had long vision. So he could see that he could see Ravana had taken Sita there. He assumes that it would be Sita only. That's where Hanuman, he decides to take a leap. Shatayo janavistirnam pupluve lavanarnavam, wherein he decides pupluve, meaning to jump over the ocean. With this, Kishkinda Kandam comes to an end. Let's start with Sundara Kandam.
Lakshmi ji.
Yes.
This is Srishti.
Yeah.
I have a question on Bali's killing.
Yeah.
Because we all know Lord Ram killed him from behind a tree because his strength the other person's strength used to get harmed. So what is I just thought in case you have any news on why, because Ram being Maryada Purushottam,
Yes. Now for this, now there are many reasons for this which are told. One is mainly now Sugriva had to kill. Rama himself, if he went in front of Vali, he did not do that because he was Maryada Purushottama. Reason being, Rama did not have any enmity with Vali. That is the reason he did not go in and face Vali directly. Face to face, they did not have a fight. Sugriva only had an enmity with Vali, therefore Sugriva had to be sent. But Sugriva had given his best always, and in spite of putting in a lot of efforts, Sugriva had never won over Vali. So therefore Rama did not come face to face and he sent Sugriva. But now Vali had done a lot of adharmic acts. the wife of Sugriva, Ruma, he had also kept him captive. And on the first go, Sugriva had not done anything wrong. If you know the background story, once when Vali went to kill a demon, at that time he did not return for a month or so. Sugriva waited outside the cave for 1 month, and finally he sees that blood oozing out, blood coming out of the cave, and he finds that maybe the demon only, he assumes that the demon only would have killed Vali. And before the demon comes out and attacks him, Sugriva was at the door of the cave, he takes a big stone and covers the mouth of the cave, and he returns back to Kishkinda. And he tells that I think Vali has been killed by the demon. I waited for almost a month, he did not return back. But still they were fighting inside. The blood that was actually coming was of the demon, because Vali had killed the demon. Sugriva comes back, and all the people there, they say that the kingdom cannot be there without a king, so let us install you on the king. At that time also Sugriva was very, very reluctant. He says, no, I cannot accept the kingdom. He was a great brother, like Lakshmana. But then people said that now the kingdom cannot function without a king, so we will make you the king. So when the Rajyabhisheka was going on, at that time Vali returns. And he is very angry, saying that you only have purposely shut them out of the cave purposely because you wanted the kingdom. At that time also Sugriva falls at the feet of Vali and tells that no, I thought that the demon would have killed you. I had waited for 1 month, blood started oozing, nobody came out. So therefore, to avoid danger from the demon, I closed the mouth. Even now, because the people are telling I have accepted the kingdom, now also I will return back the kingdom. I don't want the kingdom at all. Vali did not listen at all. He banished Sugriva from the kingdom. And this was one thing. Secondly, he also captured his wife. So you see, a lot of adharmic acts Vali had done. So when things are not done in the right way, that is for negative elements like this. If people are doing wrong, there is no other way that the person can be killed face to face. Sugriva had an enmity with Vali, therefore he can fight face to face, but Sugriva could not do that because Vali was very powerful. He had tried many times, he had failed. Rama, so he had to seek the help of Rama, but Rama could not come face to face with Vali. Reason one being, he did not have any enmity with Vali as such, right? Therefore, he cannot come and kill an enemy on whom he has not got any enmity. But secondly, Vali had to be killed because of his adharmic acts that he was doing, and everyone was trembling. At the same time, Sugriva had also lost his wife, kept his wife away. Therefore, to establish dharma again, though he had to kill back from a tree, there is a reason for this. Therefore, he shot the arrow from the back of the tree. So here what it is shown is just as we say in Hindi, right? Teda ungli teda karna padta hai, as we say. Things don't happen in the right way, you have to change your ways. Just like in the Mahabharata also you have a reference wherein Yudhishthira had to tell a lie. Ashwatthama, if you know that episode there. And then he says that no, I meant the elephant, not Dronacharya's son, right? So like this, there are many references that take place. Wherein, and even Krishna also, just as Arjuna also asks the right question there. In the Gita he says, what's the gist of the Gita? How can I kill my own brothers? Legally it was a very right question. But then Krishna says that you have tried your best. If you don't kill this person now, then it's going to lead to further trouble only. So therefore, if your cousins, brothers whom you regard them as your brothers, cousins and close relations, are they the same way that you think so? In fact, they are causing the trouble not only to you but your entire subjects, and as a Kshatriya, your first duty is to protect your subjects. Therefore, you can face this war. So therefore, things like this which are controversial, that can Rama kill Vali, the situation was so. Therefore, Rama did. Srishti ji, I hope you got an answer. Yes?
Madam, I heard something else from some guru. What he was telling is Dharma is not same for Vanara and Nara. So in the Vanara, it seems in the duty, then that means it's allowed. It seems somebody can kill from the back side also.
Yes, that is also one niyama, because that is also one niyama, as Lakshmanji rightly said. In the case of animals now, an animal you can never attack from front. If you attack from front, the animal will attack you, right? That is the reason most of the lion, this and that, we shoot them from behind. So for Vanara, the niyama is different, that is there. That is one point. But then here a question will arise. If you see Sugriva, Vanara, Sugriva, Vali, Hanuman and all, they are not only pure monkeys, right? They were also human beings. They belong to a category of Homo sapiens, early man. So they had the qualities of human beings also. So therefore they are not fully Vanara. So that is also one reason for Vanara, the niyama is different. You can attack them from behind. But mainly because they are not fully monkeys, we have to put in other points also for justification. So these are all different reasons why Rama did this. Yes, Bhuneshwari ji.
Yeah, but I heard that Vali has got some special blessing or whatever you say, that he will have the opposite person's power also.
Yes,
so
he had got
will
that.
have his power and Shatru's power also.
Correct.
That's why no one can fight him.
Fight with him face to face.
Correct. Face to face.
Correct. So Vali had also got this boon also, that for Shatru fights in, his power also he will get. That's the reason every time Sugriva used to get defeated. So like this, as I told you, there are many reasons which are there why Rama killed Vali from behind. Srishti ji, you got it? Yes?
Lakshmi,
Yeah.
the book which you are presenting now is with the English meanings and all. Is it available in the bookshop?
This is just a PowerPoint that is there. So in a bookstore, I don't think it is available, but in the
Is there any name for that? Any name for that? Any author name or
No, because these are few verses which have been just taken and someone has just manually printed it. That's how, yeah. So that's how it is there. But I think the reference book is the Gita Press version that is there, because the meanings are mainly taken from. Yes, that is only reference book. I'm not very sure if Giri has got that, but then the Gita Press version has got this. So mainly the meanings and everything has been taken from Gita Press translation, and they just typed in and put about the verses which are essential. Yeah. Okay.
Lakshmi?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it Valmiki Ramayanam you have taken, otherwise Tulsi Ram?
Valmiki Ramayanam. Of course, in Sanskrit it is, right? Okay. Now Hanuman's comments on Ravana first. Sundarakandam starts with that. Rajamanam tato drishtva Hanuman rakshaseshwaram manasa chintayamasa tejasa tasya mohitaha aho rupam aho dhairyam aho sattvam aho dyutihi aho rakshasarajasya sarvalakshana यद्यधर्मो न बलवान् स्यादयं राक्षसेश्वरः स्यादयं सुरलोकस्य सशक्रस्यापि रक्षिता. In the initial sessions, when we were looking on the character of Ravana, we have already looked on these verses where Hanuman praises Ravana. So in the Sundarakandam, Hanuman praises Ravana. Why this is included first? To show that even the Shatru also must be praised if he is worthy of praise. That is, even if you have an enmity on someone, but if that person has got some good qualities, like Ravana, he was a very great scholar, but then the only thing that was wrong in him was he had developed a few evil qualities in him. That is the reason, or that itself brought about his destruction. So therefore Hanuman, though he is a Shatru, though Ravana is a Shatru, he did praise Ravana for his good qualities. This shows Dharma. This is Dharma. And what brought about the destruction of Ravana was adharma. He did not follow dharma. That is what led to his end. Description of Lanka. Shishravajapatam tatra mantran raksho grihesho vai swadhyaya niratamshchaiva yatodanan dadarshasah grihaninana vasurajitani daivasuraishchapi supujitani sarvaishcha doshaiv parivarjitani kapirdadarshar swabalarjitani. All the houses, everything that was there, it was like as if gods and asuras both were being worshipped there. So like temples, the houses were also like temples, and sarvaishcha doshai, there was no fault that could be found out in the palace of Ravana, and all this was seen by this Kapi. Hanuman was seeing all this and just mesmerized by the beauty of Lanka. Mahitane swargamiva prakirnam shriya jwalantam bahuratna kirnam nana tarunam kusumavakirnam girerivagram rajasavakirnam. Mahitale, on the earth, as if heaven was on earth. That was the beauty of Lanka. Jwalantam bahuratna kirnam, many jewels, rubies and gems were studded everywhere. Jwalantam, the entire city was bright. Nana taruna kusma, many trees and flowers were seen everywhere, and small mountains and hillocks. You see, the palace of Ravana was also on the Trikuta Parvata, so there were a lot of small hillocks here and there. Rajasava Kiranam, full of beauty, trees, flowers, so natural beauty as well as gems and rubies that were studded here and there. यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रं यथा नभश्चग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं ददर्शयुक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं. There were a lot of paintings and sculptures also that were being done as if the sky, clouds and so on. Vimanam is those like the Pushpaka Vimana we had. So like this there were a lot of decorative things also that Hanuman saw in the palace of Ravana, and he was mesmerized. He was enchanted by the beauty. Yasya tvetaani chatvari vanarendra yatha tava dhritir drishtir madirdakshyam sakarma sunasidati. What does Valmiki tell about Hanuman is dhritihi drishtihi matihi. Now it is very difficult to have both physical and mental strength. A person who is physically strong will not be that intelligent. He will be dull. Whereas in the case of Hanuman, he had all the qualities. You name a good quality and that was there in Hanuman. Now the Sundarakandam part that is there as a part of Samkshepa Ramayana. Tato Gridrasya Vachanat Sampater Hanuman Bali Shatayo Jana Vistirnam Pupluve Lavanarnavam. As told by Sampati, Shatayojana Vistirnam, Hanuman became ready to, or he leaped over the ocean, which was 100 yojanas long.
He made him remember, no, madam, that when you have the power, you just...
Yes, now in the Samkshepa Ramayanam, all that detail is not there. Jambavan, he tells Hanuman, as per the curse that was given to Hanuman in his birth, few sages had cursed him, saying that you will forget your powers. Only when someone reminds you, you will remember. So Jambavan comes, he reminds Hanuman that you have to jump over the ocean, you have that power, go and find out Sita. Now, all this detail you will find in the detailed Sundarakandam, not in the Kishkinda Kandam. Rather, I would say detailed in the Kishkinda Kandam right part. In the end part of Kishkinda Kandam, you will find Jambavan telling. Whereas Sundarakandam starts with Hanuman leaping over and going about. Tatra lankam samasadya purim ravanapalitam dadarshya sitam dhyayantim ashokavanikam gatam. Hanuman has reached Lanka. Now in between, if you see the obstacles that that Hanuman had to face in between, one is the Mainaka Parvata, right? Mainaka Parvata, if you know the story of that, she comes in the middle, and Mainaka, why she tries to stop Hanuman is because her father, Hanuman's father, the wind god, Vayu Bhagavan, had earlier helped Mainaka. When earlier the mountains used to have wings and they used to fly about here and there. At that time, once Indra comes with his Vajrayudham, thunderbolt, he cuts off the wings. At that time, Vayu Bhagavan, it is said that he had kept this Mainaka mountain inside the ocean. So she was kept safe. She did not have to face the wrath of Indra's thunderbolt. So as a sense of hospitality, she wanted to give back not to Vayu Bhagavan's son who has come, Hanuman. So that is the reason she tells Hanuman that you please take some rest and then you can proceed. Hanuman tells, no, I am getting really late. But at the same time, he did not even want to insult. Like when someone offers us something, we should never decline that. Therefore, if you see those pictures, Hanuman gives a huge hug to the mountain and moves about Mainaka. So this huge hug is a positive response, meaning that I respect your hospitality, but now I am busy, I am on a mission now, I will come sometime later. So this was how he faced this obstacle. Next obstacle that comes was Surasa Nagamata. She was an Nagamata. What she wanted is that, now she was very smart. She wanted Hanuman, she did not directly say that I want to eat you. What she did was, she tells him, I want you to pass through my mouth and come out. Obviously, if someone goes inside a mouth, she will close the mouth. Hanuman was very smart enough, he knew the powers of Laghima, Garima and so on. Therefore, he could increase his size and reduce it whenever he wished. He reduced his size to a mosquito, size of a mosquito, goes inside the mouth of Surasa and comes back. Surasa did not even realize that and he proceeds further. Last was Simhika. Simhika, she had the quality of pulling people through their shadow. Suddenly Hanuman feels that someone is pulling him down, and at that time she sees Simhika. No option was there, he just gives her a blow and moves about. Now why so much of description I am telling you? These 3 obstacles are compared to our life also. How? First is a Mainaka Parvata. That is where when we face obstacles or problems from our own close circle, maybe our family members or friends. At that time we don't lift a weapon and go and hit people, right? Maybe you tell them in a good way, you make them understand. We'll have small arguments, but still doesn't mean that maybe we cut off ties and go about or kill each other, right? We don't do that. Hanuman reacted in the same way. He gave a hug to Mainaka, saying that, he explained in a good way that I respect your feelings, but now is not the right time. I'll come back later. This is how we must deal with close people. Second is Surasa. There are a few people, they do not belong to our close circle, but every time when a problem comes in, you don't have to again lift a weapon and kill the person, or you don't have to react in a negative manner. Firstly, he requests, he tells Surasa that no, I am on a mission. Later when I come back, I will surely go inside your mouth and come. Surasa does not listen to all that. So then you have to use your brains then. Try to find out some solution wherein, like Hanuman did here very intelligently, he reduced his size, goes inside the mouth and comes. Like this, we must think what can be done and then arrive at a solution. Wherein always you don't have to hit upon and kill and take a very severe action. We can think very calmly, we must think what can be done. So this is the second solution. Second problem, when we face such problems in life, this is how the decision has to be taken. Last is Simhika. But there are a few situations that come in life wherein there is no other option. We have to just let go of the problem. Now in our case, everyday life now, we don't have to go and kill out people, right? Like Ravana or Hanuman, Rama, they all did. We don't have to fight wars. But there are a few people in life, how much ever you tell them, how much ever they are with you, they are always going to cause trouble. So it is better to let go of such people, the company of such people, or things, like for example addictions, right? And maybe drinking, smoking. So there are so many addictions that are there. There is no option to that I'll find out some other way and so on, like Hanuman did in the case of Simhika. In the case of Surasa, you cannot find out some ways. You cannot use your brains here. You have to just let go of that completely. So that's the reason Simhika was completely killed. That is, she was completely thrown out. So the 3 obstacles that come in the path of Hanuman are like 3 life lessons for us, depending on the problems that come in each one of us lives. First is Mainaka, wherein problems that come from our close family and friend circle, wherein you don't have to react in a very good way, you can make them understand. Second is Surasa, wherein we have to use our brains also a bit and come to solutions. Simhika, last part is, there is no other option, you have to let go of that, cut off that completely. So this is, even through the obstacles that Hanuman faces in Sundarakandam, we have a life lesson for all of us. This comes in detail in the Sundarakandam. The Sankshepa, you have Tatra Lankam Samasadhya Purim Ravana Palitam Dadarsha Sitam Dhyayantim Ashokavanikam Gatam. Sankshepa Ramayana, one verse it is said that Hanuman arrives at Lanka and finds Sita in the Ashokavana. People who have studied the Sundarakandam, you know that it doesn't take place that way. 15, 16 sargas, we have to put in efforts, chant more than 500 verses, only then Hanuman reaches Sita. Hanuman finds Sita. First sarga of Sundarakandam, Hanuman reaches Lanka. But the next 10, 15, 20 sargas are talking about Hanuman trying to find out Sita in Lanka. The Samkshepam, it is just mentioned in one line that Hanuman finds Sita in the Ashokavana. So it is not at all so, it takes a lot of efforts. निवेदयित्वाभिज्ञानं प्रवृत्तिं च निवेद्य च समाश्वास्य च वैदेहीं मर्दयामास तोरणम्. Anguliya Pradhanam, very very important words. Hanuman gives the ring of Rama to Sita, tells the entire story and tries to console Sita. And then what he does is Mardayamasa Toranam. Toranam is the fence part of Ashokavana. He tries to break that. Panchasenagrakan hatva saptamantrisutanapi shuramaksham cha nishpishya grahanam samupagamat. Different commanders, 5 commanders were being sent, the 7 main ministers, counselors were being sent. Akshay Kumara, son of Ravana, was being killed. And finally, the Brahmastram was set up by Indrajit. Hanuman pays homage to that. He was not killed by the Brahmastra, he was tied and he got himself captured to be taken to the palace of Ravana. So with this we will stop here. Today time is up. We'll continue with the next class. Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopashantaye Dorbiriyukta Chaturbis Phatikamanimahim Akshamalam Dadana Hastenaikena Padmam Sidamapi Chashukam Pustakam Chaparena भासा कुंदेनु शंक स्फटिक मणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सामे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानाथं को न याति परां गतिं गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतने हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलम् नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः. Okay, namaste everyone, Hari Om. We'll start. So we were on Sankshepa Ramayanam. We were looking at Sundarakandam. So last time, if you see, in short, we saw about Sundarakandam, how Hanuman crosses over the ocean. He had to face a few obstacles coming in his way, how he overcame all of that and how he passed about and moved ahead. So 3 obstacles, Mainaka, Surasa and Simhika. All 3 obstacles come. The way Hanuman tackles all the 3 and how it is relatable to our lives, we had discussed this in the last session. So now we will continue. So now Hanuman has reached Lanka. ततो दग्ध्वा पुरीं लङ्कामृते सीतां च मैथिलीं रामाय प्रियमाख्यातुं पुनरायान् महाकपिः. So after meeting Lanka, finally Hanuman meets Sita. So if you remember, we had discussed in our last session, right? It took a lot of time for Hanuman to actually find out Sita and how he searched about the entire palace of Ravana, the entire Lanka. Finally he meets Sita, he hands over the ring. Now in the Sankshepa Ramayana we don't have so much of detail that is there. Once you see there is a jump, shloka number 76, it states that Hanuman, Indrajit shoots the Brahmastra, Hanuman is bound by that, and then he goes to the palace of Ravana. Till here only the instance of Brahmastra has been mentioned in verse 76. Further in verse 77 onwards, Hanuman burns Lanka. So the entire story that takes place in between, you have that in detail in the Sundarakanda. That is where Hanuman goes out in search of Sita. Finally he meets Sita, he meets her in the Ashokavana. It tells the Kakasura story that is there, wherein the crow comes and pokes the eye of, I think we had discussed this, right, in one of the previous sessions of Kakasura. So these are all secret stories which were there only between Rama and Sita. Rama had purposely told Hanuman so that if any kind of doubt develops in the mind of Sita, Hanuman can tell the story and Sita will surely believe and start trusting him, saying that yes, this is truly a messenger of Rama, Ramadutaha. And further he hands over the ring of Rama and now she is assured. But still doubt starts developing in her mind continuously. She tries to insult in the sense she even keeps names for Hanuman, she shouts at him. Then she tells that you are maybe Ravana only who has come, or maybe Ravana has sent you as Rama's messenger. This is because once, by looking at the golden deer, she was infatuated, she got distracted, and now she has landed in a place. So now once we face problems or once we face disbelief, as we say, never ever we will believe or we will trust anyone easily. So the same thing happened with Sita also. This is general human mentality. Once you face Like after believing someone, after trusting on someone, if your expectations are not fulfilled, then surely from next time you are going to start developing doubt, right? So the same thing happened with Sita also. She did not believe Hanuman, but in spite of all that, Hanuman did not give up. He kept his best and he maintained his cool also. That is, he never got angry, or it would have taken just a minute for Hanuman to say that I'm not bothered. Anyway, I've got nothing to do with you, nothing to do with Rama. I was enjoying my life. I was just a minister of Sugriva. What am I going to get after putting so much efforts of maybe crossing over the ocean, finding your entire Lanka, going into the inner chambers of Ravana, facing a lot of discomfort and so on. So in spite of doing all this, finally after meeting Sita also, when she starts talking ill, now Sita is also not to be blamed here. That is because she had experienced something wherein it had led to an evil, you can say a negative situation. That is the abduction of Sita. Ravana came and abducted her. So therefore now it was very difficult for Sita to believe anyone, even though the person said that I am Rama's messenger, I belong to Rama's army. He gave the ring of Rama. He told the stories, some secretive stories which were there only between Rama and Sita. But in spite of all this also, it became very difficult for Sita to believe. Finally she believes, and then Hanuman, he burns down the entire Lanka. Tado dagdva purim lankam rite sitam chamaitini. Except the place where Sita lived, that is Ashokavana, he left that, remaining the entire Lanka was burnt down by Hanuman. Now a question arises here, why did Hanuman burn Lanka? Like, his job was of a messenger. He had to just convey the message of Rama, and that too it was like a peace mission, P-E-A-C-E, wherein you return back Sita and the war, everything can be avoided. So it was just like a request that was being made to Ravana, saying that you have abducted my master's wife Sita, please return her back. So that was the whole purpose of Hanuman, and to find out where exactly Sita is. So his mission was done. So he could have now returned back. He could have come and told Rama that so and so I saw Sita and so on. Now the next action, you can decide what you want to do. What was the need to burn Lanka? Can anyone guess? You can have your opinion. It's not guessing. What do you feel? Why did Hanuman burn Lanka? What was the purpose? No one?
Just to show that how powerful
Yeah.
Ram and his disciples are.
Okay.
It was just a sample or trailer
Yes,
sort
yes.
of thing.
Okay.
What he
So
can
just to show how powerful Rama's army was, Hanuman just gave a small gist. Okay. What else? What else?
He has come as a Ramadut. But when he has come as a Ramadut, then he should have respected him, and he should have given that consent to go back in a proper way. Rather than, I think the kingdom, they took advantage over him, and they had forcefully, they have burnt his tail. Because of that, he took this revenge and burnt Lanka.
Okay, this is also a valid reason. Rajanji?
One more thing, see.
One minute.
After Hanuman burnt
Wait.
Lanka,
Let Rajanji speak. Rajanji, speak.
Hariom, for any animal, a four-legged animal, the tail is the most sensitive and the most important organ. So, Hanuman was provoked by one of the Rakshasas pulling the tail and triggering the hatred.
Yeah, correct. Shekharji?
after Hanuman burnt Lanka, the fear in Ravana started. He started fearing something will happen to him. He was getting worried.
Correct. Hemalata ji?
To show Sita she is in safe hand.
Correct. Okay. Now all the reasons that all of you told, all of that.
Probably to counter the retaliation of Ravana and his army.
Yes, this is also there, but to some extent, because for Ravana enmity was with Rama, right, not with Hanuman. So to some extent. Now here all of your answers are correct. So wherein point number 1, why did Hanuman burn? One is to show his own nature, because his tail was burnt. For all animals, tail is very dear, so therefore he would have done that. That is one thing. Second reason is to show, that is, as a few of you said, that to take revenge. His tail was burnt, so he had to give back. That is one thing. Second is to show a tinge of Rama's power, and to say, just as again Bhuvneshwari ji, Sanjeev ji said, that by showing and by burning down entire Lanka, Ravana and his entire army got an idea that this is the power of just one person, that too a monkey, that too the messenger of Rama. So just imagine when Rama himself comes and his entire army comes, what will be the plight of Lanka. So to show a strength of himself, that was one thing why he burned down Lanka. So these are all few reasons why Hanuman burned down Lanka. But some people argue here, there is critics who find out some critical points and they will discuss on it, why this happened, why that happened. So mainly here, some people say that there was no purpose for Hanuman to burn down Lanka. Now just as we say revenge and all that, now why did they burn Hanuman's tail? The reason being he had already destroyed Ashokavana. He had destroyed Ashokavana, and that is the reason his tail was being burnt. So that was the reason why his tail was burnt. In fact, Ravana wanted to kill Hanuman, but still Vibhishana said that a messenger should not be killed, he is just doing his own duty. So therefore his tail was burnt. So here, if you see, there are many reasons why Hanuman wanted to burn down Lanka. Now many reasons can be accepted, nothing is wrong, but the most prominent and important reason is to show Ravana and entire Lanka the power of himself. Now not only of himself, here he does not want to boast about his powers, how strong he is, but to show that Rama's army is also equally strong. When one person from Rama's army can burn down your entire Lanka, just imagine the plight when Rama and his entire army will come, what will happen, what will be your condition. So this was the main purpose why he did that. But of course he left Ashokavana, that is, he did not burn Ashokavana because Sita was residing there. And in some references, though it is not mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana, it is also mentioned that Vibhishana's house was also left. So, Digamya Mahatmanam Kritva Ramam Pradakshanam Nyavedayadameyatma Drishtasiteti Tattvataha. Now, next verse, Hanuman has returned back from Lanka. He meets Rama, he just goes about Rama. And just one thing he says that Drishta Sita, that's it. Drishta Sita, I have seen Sita. Now there is a story here, that is, if you read the original Sundarakandam, once Hanuman was returning from Lanka, all the monkeys are waiting on the ocean's shore. They are looking at the sky, all of them are sitting down and they are waiting. It was just 24 hours, right? Hanuman crossed over, he did everything, burned down Lanka and he returns back. So all the monkeys are all waiting for Hanuman to return back. That time they are looking at the sky, one monkey spots Hanuman there, and immediately, it is said that immediately all of them, they rush and they start jumping in joy, they start showing their animal nature, and they all jump and they have a celebration of their own. When we look at Sundarakandam in detail, we will delve into that. They have a celebration of their own, and then finally they go and meet Rama, and at that time, only one thing Hanuman says to Rama is Drishta Sita. Now why did he say this? He could have started, right? Oh Rama, you know what happened? I crossed over the ocean, I leaped around, I met 3 obstacles and I finally reached Lanka, there I looked upon. He did not start with all this. He came to the main point, Drishta Sita, because Rama is listening, Rama is waiting to listen only this. Have you achieved my purpose? All other things, the entire story you can tell me later. You first tell me the most important thing for which you had gone. So that is the reason Hanuman just makes one statement, Drishta Sita, means I have seen Sita. He does not delve into the deep story again. So this is a very, very important thing which you have to make a note. Whenever someone is waiting or some important work is given to us, we must come to the main point immediately. You just go around in circles, this happened, that happened. Then what we say, when people talk like this, what do we say? Come to the main point. So mainly what happened, that you tell. All this you can tell later, right? So the same thing Hanuman, he also does the same thing. ततस्सुग्रीवसहितो गत्वा तीरं महोदधेः समुद्रं क्षोभयामास शरैरादित्यसन्निभैः. Then Rama along with the entire army, he reaches the shore of the ocean. Sharayiraditya is when the sun is shining very bright. So the ocean also looked like arrows. Shafts are a kind of weapons, arrows. So it was very, you can say the ocean was also like a high tide situation. It was also very wild. दर्शयामास चात्मानं समुद्रसरितां पतिः समुद्रवचना चैव नलं सेतुमकारयत्. At that time, now Rama did not know how to cross over the ocean. He prays to the sun god for continuously a week or so. The ocean god, Varuna. He does not come out. Finally, he gets angry. He tries to shoot an arrow. At that time, Samudra Deva, he comes out and he gives an advice that in your army there is Nala, there is a monkey called Nala. He is Amsha of Vishwakarma. You tell him with his advice he had got, now when they were young, Nala and Neela both were there, but here we have reference to mainly Nala only. So Nala, he had got a curse that now because when they were young, they were throwing stones and everything on sages and people all around, like how children play. So at that time the sages had cursed that whatever you put down, that will never go down, it will always keep floating. So that is the reason all the rocks that Nala puts into the ocean shore, it never goes down, it keeps floating. That too with the Ramanama written on it, and that's how the bridge, Setu Bandhanam, that starts. तेन गत्वा पुरीं लङ्कां हत्वा रावणमाहवे रामसीतामनुप्राप्य परां व्रीडामुपागमत्. Finally, Rama reaches Sita. Again, it is Sankshepa Ramayana. Everything is in short. Finally, he reaches he reaches Lanka, and then he accepts. Before accepting Sita, he feels embarrassed. That is the reason we have the instance of Agni Pariksha. We have already discussed about Agni Pariksha, how it took place, how logical it is, and so on in the earlier sessions. So finally, Rama reaches Lanka. He kills the entire army of Lanka. Ravana himself is killed, and then finally Sita comes, and we have the Agni Pariksha and everything. तामुवाच ततो रामः परुषं जनसंसनि अमृष्यमाणा सा सीता विवेशज्वलनं सती. Now here, this concept of Rama speaking harsh words, what is this? It is that the harsh words were just that he said that I cannot accept Sita, she has to do the Agni Pariksha. Beyond that, he does not speak anything. So harsh words in the sense he was not ready to accept Sita. This seemed to be very harsh for Sita herself and for all the people present there. We know the story behind of Chaya Sita who was there. So mainly he wanted the original Sita back from the fire god. So he had to do all this drama because the entire population, the world does not know about Chaya Sita. Only Rama and Sita knew this. Later when Lakshmana gets angry, he tells Lakshmana also the real story. Finally, the Agni Pariksha is done. Tato Agnivachanat Sitam Nyatva Vigata Kalmasham Babau Ramas Samprarishtaha Pujitas Sarvadevatai Daivataihi. Finally, Agni Bhagwan comes, he tells her, I am returning back your Sita, she is sinless at all. She is very pure. That's when Rama accepts her happily. Now, why this entire instance of Agni Pariksha was done? Now to some extent, now as per this it was okay, it was a Chaya Sita, Agni Bhagwan takes her away. But then why, what was the need of doing all this, right? So like even if the original Sita had lived in the kingdom of Ravana, but still like we know if Sita could not have been abducted by Ravana because of her Patni Vrata, Ekapatni Vrata, so Ravana would have never touched her. That's what is said. If he had touched her, then he would have been burned that very minute. So therefore the Chaya Sita only he could lift and take her away and all that. But then logically, even if the original Sita was abducted by Ravana and kept in Lanka for 10 months, and later once Rama wins over Sita, if she comes back, and even if readily Rama accepts Sita, if this was the story, then what was the harm in that? Nothing, right? Okay, Sita is abducted, Rama fights a war with Ravana, he kills him, and once he gets victory, he accepts Sita. Sita returns back and he accepts her. Why this, even the story of Agni Pariksha and Chaya Sita, why all this has come, and what is the need? Today when we look upon Ramayana as a great epic, or when we look upon the characters of Ramayana and try to follow their ideals in our life, it is to show that the respect that we must have towards one's own close circle. It's not only a relationship of a husband and wife, but to one's own people. It should not happen that anyone will stay anywhere. Now, in this case, it was not at all Sita's fault. But in the Kali Yuga, Rama knew that people will very easily start mingling with each other. Today I am living with you, tomorrow I might go and live with someone. What is the use? What is the importance of a relationship, right? So therefore, to show to the world that if you are even unknowingly also, like in the case of Sita here, if you stay with someone else, still then your purity will be tested. So this itself shows the importance. So forget about living even unknowingly, or maybe like in the case of Sita, it was not at all her fault, right? So even in such situations also, when people will poke fingers, imagine a situation when you purposely live someone and You leave someone and go and stay with someone else. That is totally wrong and beyond morality. So to establish good morals in the society and to teach a lesson to the world, to teach the importance of relationship and respect of one's own partner or one's own close circle of family members, this Leela or this entire incident of Agni Pariksha was done. Now there are many interpretations, many people will tell many references, many stories. This is one of that which seems to be more apt. So therefore, why something has to be done, there is a reason for that. So karmana tena mahata trailokyam sacharacharam sadevarshiganam tushtam raghavasya mahatmanaha. So once Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Ravana Yuddha was done, all the gods, everyone appears there. They are very pleased with Rama because finally he had killed Ravana, who had been causing trouble to all the three worlds for many years together. Abhishitya Jalankayam Rakshasendram Vibhishanam Kritakrityastada Ramo Vijvarah Pramodaha. After Ravana, Vibhishana was made the king of Lanka, and Rama, he becomes very happy, and they start preparations to return back to Ayodhya. Devatabhyo varam prapya samuthapya cha vanaran Ayodhyam prastito Ramah pushpakena suhritvritaha. Now, for all the monkeys who had died in the war, Rama revives all their lives and samuthapya. Then finally he starts proceeding towards Lanka in the Pushpaka Vimana. Next.
No audio, ma'am.
Wait. Sharing this. Next. Now, from here starts Yuddha Kanda. Bharadwajashramam gatva Ramah satyaparakramaha Bharattasyantikam Ramo Hanumantam Vyasarjayat. Now note here, the Yuddha Kanda, as per the Sankshepa Ramayana. Note here, Yuddha Kanda is in the sense I am talking about Balakandam, Sankshepa Ramayana, little instance of Yuddha Kanda. So in that Sundarakanda, towards the end after Hanuman. Now because if you see, in the Sankshepa Ramayana only 1-2 instances are mentioned. That is the main things of Sundarakandam, of Yuddha Kandam, Kishkinda Kandam and so on. So don't get confused. In the original Yuddha Kanda, you have the entire Yuddha, the war that is described there. Sundarakandam ends with Hanuman returning back and meeting Rama. There it ends. But here in Sankshepa Ramayana, it is just included as a continuation of Sundarakandam and as a beginning of Yuddha Kanda. Why so? Because Yuddha is war. We have no instance of war that is described in the Sankshepa Ramayana. Just in one line it is mentioned that Rama killed Ravana, got back Sita. No instance of war is mentioned at all. Therefore, that is also considered to be a part of Sundarakandam, or rather you can say continuation of Sundarakandam, beginning of Yuddha Kanda. In the Sankshepa Ramayana, because there is no instance of war, we cannot name it as Yuddha Kanda. Now, therefore, the later part that is given, Bharadwajashramam gatva Ramah satyaparakramaha Bharatasyantikam Ramo Hanumantam Vyasarjayat. Finally, when they come back from the Pushpaka Vimana, they go to the ashrama of Bharadwaja, and there first Hanuman is being sent ahead here. Rama tells Hanuman, you go ahead and inform Bharata that we have reached, because Bharata had told that if you don't reach on time, I will end up my life. So therefore Rama says that you go and please inform Bharata first. Before he takes some action, you go and inform them that we are all coming. Now, the gist of Yuddha Kandam, we have to have a look. Before we continue with Sankshepa Ramayana, this is Yuddha Kanda. Now, in the Yuddha Kanda, what happens is, many people start advising Ravana here, right? That is when the war starts in. First is Vibhishana. Vibhishana was thrown out of the palace. Shuka, Sharana. Shuka and Saran, they were the two messengers of Ravana who were continuously being sent to Rama's camp. When Rama had reached Lanka, these two messengers, Shuka and Sharana, they used to assume the form of monkeys But they were very lucky that Vibhishana was there in the party of Rama. So therefore, immediately he could recognize, oh, these, though they have assumed the form of monkeys, they are originally Rakshasas. So every time he could save Rama's army. But this Shukash Arana also, they were like the messengers or Dutas. They used to come secretly and see what was Rama up to, what were the plans that Rama's army was making, what were their strategies, all this. So finally, even they also gave up. Gave up in the sense, they also started telling Ravana that there is no way out, you have to surrender, you have to return back Sita. That also failed. Ravana got very angry on them and he told them that you just do your work. Your work is of a messenger, you just focus upon that do not give me any advice. Next is Malyavan. Malyavan, if you see, is a character, he was quite an old man in the Ramayana, and he also started giving advice to Rama. Then we have in Ravana, sorry. Now, he was also a Rakshasa, and mainly if you see, he was a grandfather of Ravana, and also he was a great Rakshasa chief also. So mainly Ravana's mother is a Rakshasi and her father was this Malyama. He also comes and starts advising Ravana that now you must give up on this war. Then Kumbhakarna. Now this reference is given where they advise, that's the Sarga 35, Sarga 63 of the original Yuddha Kanda. Kumbhakarna also finally he advises saying that this Lord Rama is Lord Vishnu himself, therefore you must surrender, you have to return back Sita because you are only at fault, you have only done a mistake by abducting his wife, so please avoid the war, otherwise it is going to lead to mass destruction. Now all this is done, nobody he listens. Next, that is how he sets his own mousetrap. Mousetrap is without listening to anyone's advice, how he himself destroys and kills himself. Next is, he did not live on this. Few tricks were done, like showing fake Rama, that is just the head of Rama in front of Sita, and Sita fainting and falling. Then Indrajit, what he did is, he showed as if he made a Maya Sita and he showed as if he is killing Sita. That again, seeing this, Rama fainted down. Then, if you see, in spite of doing all these tricks, now in the case of Sita, she had Trijata, who was there to explain and tell Sita that no, all this is not true, these are all just the tricks of Ravana. And in the case of Rama, we had Vibhishana who told that all these are the tricks of Indrajit, who is a great Mayavi. He is an expert in doing such tricks, therefore don't worry, nothing has happened to Sita. So even not just a proper war was being played, even such tricks were also being done, such magical things were also being done. So this shows that Ravana, by hook or crook, he himself fell into the trap and that led to his danger. Now, Jajasva Kopam Sukadharmanashanam Bhajasva Dharmam Ratikirti Vardhanam Prasida Jeeve Masaputra Bandhavaha Pradiyadam Dasharathaya Maithini. Now these are just a few verses from the Yuddha Kandam, just to give you a gist of Yuddha Kandam before we go into the Sankshep Ramayana. Now, Vibhishana's advice to Ravana, he says that Tejas, give up your kopam, give up your anger, give up your ego. Rather than kopam, it is ahankaram. Give up your kopam. Then, if you are angry, if you are not following your dharma and you are just being very egoistic, you are going to lose your happiness and dharma very soon. Therefore, always be on the right track. Do not go into the wrong path by maybe abducting someone else's wife. And this was not the first time that Ravana was doing, but this time it led to his own destruction. There were many queens to whom he had done this, but all the kings and all the men, they failed to win over Ravana. But in the case of Rama, finally he killed Ravana and he got back Sita. So, Prasida Jeeve Masaputra Bandhavaha. You may live happily with your sons and relatives if you do not delve on the wrong path by doing such actions. Therefore think, let Sita be given back. Pradiyatam Dasharathaya Maithili Pradiyatam. Please return back Sita to Rama. Ayam hidoshas sarvasya janasyapyopalakshate rakshasam rakshasinam cha purasyantah purasya cha. So wherein there were, now once Sita was being abducted, there were a lot of bad omens that were happening. So Vibhishana tells that all this are because you have abducted Sita. None of the people of Lanka are living happily and peacefully now in our country. So therefore you must ensure that things are followed. Being a king, you must ensure, you must work for the welfare of your people, for your subjects. Ensure that Sita has returned back to Rama. प्रापेण चास्य मन्त्रस्य निवृत्ता सर्वमन्त्रिणः अवश्यं च मया वाच्यं यद्दृष्टमथवा श्रुतं संविदाय यथा न्यायं तद्भवान् कर्तुमर्हति. Now what Vibhishana here he further continues. He tells Ravana that all the ministers, all the people who are sitting here, they also have the same mindset. They also have the same thought process. They also wish to advise you. But the thing is, they are afraid of you. They are afraid to speak up. So I, being your brother, on the behalf of all these ministers, the entire council who is sitting here, we are all advising you, saying that please give up your wrong deeds, please return Sita back to Rama so that this war can be avoided and things can be peaceful. Lanka and the people of Lanka will also stay peaceful. Ravana gets very angry, he throws Vibhishana out. Bhayam na vashyami kutaschidapyaham na raghava prapsyati jato maithini surai sahendrair api sangare katham mamagratasyasyati lakshmanagrajaha. Ravana has been very arrogant. He says, who is that Rama? Vishnu, let him be anyone. He cannot even stand in front of me. Even if the gods come and help, it was not possible because all the gods are under the control, including the 9 Navagrahas, they are under my control. Who will come? Indra is afraid of me. I have killed and I have destroyed. I have defeated him so many times in war. That is the reason why even Lord Vishnu also he had to incarnate to kill Ravana. So therefore he tells Vibhishana that I do not fear anything. I am not going to return Sita to Rama by any means. Let anything happen. Rama cannot even stand in front of me in the battle. So you can see his ahankaram. This itself led to his destruction. Further still Vibhishana continues. Sulabha purusha rajan satatam priyavadinaha apriyasya tu pattasya vakta shota cha durlabaha. Now, Vibhishana tells, or like he gives an advice to Ravana. He says that those who speak nicely, everyone will listen to them, or everyone will like to listen to them. But those who speak about the harsh reality, that is why it is said that truth is harsh. Even though it is very unpleasing to listen, even though it is very difficult to listen and absorb that, but that only remains the truth. You cannot change that. Even though today you feel that Sita should not be returned back to Rama, still that fear had already developed in the mind of Ravana. It's just because of his ahankara and ego. He knew that Rama was not like the other princes who had lost their wives. Sita was not like the other woman whom he had abducted before. He knew this, right? That too, and it became very sure when Hanuman burnt down Lanka. So from that time only, fear had started developing in the minds of Ravana. But what kept him away was his ego, his ahankara, saying that I should not give up. Let anything happen. Even if my life goes away, I will not give up. This is where ahankara, that's the reason we say that do not be egoistic. Ego can spoil anything and ego can also kill oneself. The best proof is Ravana here. So he says, so here Vibhishana says that just speaking something in your favor, that is fine. But people who speak like I am doing now, though you are not liking what I am speaking, that is only the harsh reality. So please accept that in order to save yourself and your entire people. But still Ravana doesn't listen. Nivaryamanasya maya hitaishana narochate te vachanam nishachara parantakale hi gatayusho nara hitam na grinnanti suhridbhiri ritam. Again Vibhishana continues saying that my words are a bit harsh to you, you are not able to accept that, but it is the truth that is there. If you want to save yourself, or people generally who are waiting for their death to happen, they will never listen to what others spoke by their well-wishers. Therefore, I being your brother will always wish good for you. I am telling you to stop and return back Sita. But if you are not listening, that is going to lead to your own destruction. Kumbhakarna. प्रथमं वै महाराज कृत्यमेतदचिन्तितं केवलं वीर्यदर्पेण नानुबन्धो विचिन्तितः. Kumbhakarna says that Kumbhakarna first he goes to fight. Later he realizes that this Rama is Vishnu alone, and Vishnu himself and Sita is goddess Mahalakshmi herself. And he decides that it is very difficult to kill and overpower Rama and Sita, so it is better that you please discourse. We are only at mistake here, we are only at fault here, thereby abducting someone else's wife. Rama is just fighting for his rights, and at the same time Rama also is trying to avoid war also. But in spite of that, if you are not giving up, that is your own mistake. Please do not do that. He prays, he cries out, but still Ravana does not listen. यः पश्चात् पूर्वकार्याणि कुर्यादैश्वर्यमास्थितः पूर्वं चोत्तरकार्याणि न सवेदनयानयौ. Here this is a philosophy. What is said is, at the right time, right things must be done. This is again a life lesson for all of us. Today, when physically my hands and feet are fine, we say that no, I won't do something today. Let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe you are not able to get up from the bed. That means you are not able to do something. Doing the right things at the right time is very, very, very important. Otherwise it is going to lead to mass destruction. Now, that's the reason we say that when you are doing something, you must always have a right time for doing things. For example, now, though we say that there is no age for doing anything, but still by this concept of age and time has been put in, that's very, very important. When we say that the first 25 years of your life are for education or brahmacharya ashrama or education, no, I will not study then, I will study at the age of 50. It's absolutely fine if you study at the age of 50, but at the age of 50 your responsibilities are different. Maybe till the age of 25 you didn't have much responsibilities, you are full focused, you could have given on studies or maybe on gaining knowledge, doing good things, or maybe learning. But at that time you were busy doing something else, so you were just wasting your time. And then at the age of 50 you realize that no, I wish I could have studied more then, so now I'm going to study. You can all do that, there is no age for that, but not at the cost of leaving aside one's responsibilities. Maybe at the age of 50 or 40 you have other responsibilities, you have some family responsibilities, you cannot give up on that and do those studies, right? And that means again, that responsibilities also you are not following properly. Maybe you cannot give good time to your family, children and so on, right? So therefore this concept of time, I'm just giving you an everyday example. So when we have the concept of age that is there, that is the reason it is said that learn everything at a young age. When you learn at a young age, it remains with us till the end of our life. But when you start late, it becomes very difficult because already half or 3/4 life is gone. But again, better late than never, that is true. So here what Kumbhakarna is advising Ravana is that do things but at the right time. You have done things at the wrong time. You have abducted Sita first of all. When Rama and Lakshmana were away, you came there, you have abducted Sita. So this is a wrong action that you have done. And now is the time when you have to return back Sita to Rama. Even that you are avoiding, in spite of losing many people. Now only Kumbhakarna, Indrajit and Ravana are remaining. You have lost so many sons, you have lost so many warriors. Entire Lanka was burned down. In spite of all this, still your ego is not going, still you are not able to understand where you are going wrong. So that means you are not doing the right action at the right time. You are making a delay here, and this is further going to lead to your own end. So please think over, do things at the right time, otherwise it is going to lead to problems. त्रिषु चैतेषु यच्छ्रेष्ठं श्रुत्वा तन्नावबुध्यते राजा वा राजमात्रो वा व्यर्थं तस्य बहुश्रुतम्. Further, Kumbhakarna continues advising Ravana. He says that best out of these three. Now what is this three? In the previous verse you will see. Doing things at the right time. Whatever had to be done today, you do that late. Whatever had to be done late, you end up doing that today. And then you are thinking what is right and what is wrong. If we have a clear picture of what has to be done when, then that person will always succeed. But in spite of why it is mentioned here, Raja va Rajamatro va Vyartham tasya bahushrutam. Now Ravana was a very great person, right? He was a master of the Vedas, he could play the Veena, he was the greatest devotee of Lord Shiva, he was one of the greatest devotees. All this is being done, but in spite of that, it led to Ravana's destruction. Why so? Because of a few evil qualities that he had in him, because of his ego, because of his fighting attitude, because of his killing, because of his nature, bad nature, that led to his own end. So therefore, what Kumbhakarna tries to tell in this verse is, on your learning and good qualities that you have developed in you, all that will go waste if you are not able to fight proper. That is, if you are not able to live properly, if you are doing wrong things, then what is the use of learning everything? All your knowledge, learning everything is going in vain. यदुक्तमिह ते पूर्वं क्रियतामनुजेन च तदेव नो हितं वाक्यं यदिच्छसि तथा कुरु. But here Vibhishana, he says that the same thing was told by our brother Vibhishana also. Kumbhakarna, he says, sorry. Vibhishana also had explained all this to you earlier, you did not listen. The same thing I am telling you now. But last he says, yadichhasi tatha kuru. Whatever you feel right, that you do. So this is a difference between Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. Vibhishana also advises Ravana. Kumbhakarna also advises Ravana. But Vibhishana chooses to leave Ravana. Ravana himself throws him out. And in spite of throwing out, at that time Vibhishana does not stay to support Ravana, because he says that let anything happen, I am going to always stick to Dharma. Kumbhakarna, he says that let anything happen, but I will never leave my brother, because I have to follow my Bhratru Dharma. So both were right in their own place, but this is again a lesson for all of us. Company matters. If you stay back in bad company like Ravana, it is going to lead to your end like the killing of Kumbhakarna. But if at the right time you leave the company, leave the bad company, like Vibhishana did, you will always gain something good in life, like Vibhishana got the company of Rama. So therefore, choosing the right company and knowing where to leave the person and go, that is very, very important. Yanti nyaya pravrittasya tiriyanchopi sahayatam apanthanam tu gachantam sodaro vimunchati. The gist of Ramayana, we had seen, right, in the earlier verses. If a person is on the right track, even animals, like in the case of Rama, animals, tiriyanchaha api, small creatures will also come to help. Just like squirrels, monkeys and bears helped Rama because he was always on the right path. But in the case of Ravana, apanthanam tu gachanti, one goes on the wrong path, sodaropi vimunchati, one's own brother, like Vibhishana, he also left Ravana. So this is very, very important. Again, Ravana dismisses Kumbhakarna. मान्यो गुरुरिवाचार्यः किं मां त्वमनुशाससे किमेव श्रमं कृत्वा यदुक्तं तद्विधीयताम्. He says, who are you? Are you a very great guru to come and advise me? You are no one. So therefore, you just go do your duty. What is at this time, what is beneficial is you have to go and fight in the war, so that Lanka can be saved, so that the people of Lanka can be saved. I can be saved. This war will end here only. So you better go and do that. अवश्यं च हितं वाचं सर्वावस्था मया तव बन्धुभावादभिहितं भ्रातृस्नेहात् च पार्थिव. Kumbhakarna, he says that it is correct that at this time I have to go and fight because that is what you need the most. But still, we are brothers, so I have to follow my Bhratru Dharmam. It is my duty to advise you. I have done that. Now you may decide what you want to do. With this, it ends here. Again, it is a continuation. So with this Yuddha Kandam, to some extent in the Valmiki Ramayanam, it ends. Next slide, I'll just share. One second.
I still have
Yes.
two things I wanted to convey. One was that Sita had been held out even after 1 years. There is one saying in Hindi, जो दूध से जलता है वो छाछ भी फूक कर पीता है.
Correct.
And the second thing I just wanted to know for my own knowledge, is it that because I don't know why I'm not hurting anybody, but we always address as Ram, and you in the south always address as Rama. What is the reason behind it? Is it that we are giving him some honor and say Rama? I don't understand it.
No. It is basically based on grammar rules, because now Rama is not the correct word. Rama we can say. When we say it becomes Rama, that's fine. But then Ram, when we say Ram, is basically in Hindi, or especially in north side people say Ram, south side people will say Rama. The right word is Rama. The reason being why you must not say Ram is, in Sanskrit when you write Ram, Ma, you have that Ma is full. When you say Ma half, when we say Ram, it means that Ma is only half, right? You have a halanta there. It's not so. So therefore Rama is right. Originally the word is Ramaha, but we don't say that as much because we are not speaking in Sanskrit much. So we don't say Ramaha, Krishna and so on. In South, when we say Rama, South, or you can say mainly when you write in English and so on, the spelling is R-A-M-A, right? So people consider that to be Rama. But you don't have an Akarantam there. Then it will become like Strilinga. So therefore, Rama is the right word. When we say it, you can say it as Ram, you can say it as Rama, that is fine. Saying is different. The way people speak, that can be different. Proper nouns can be told anyway. There is an exception for that, right? But then the right way, if you ask someone the right spelling, it is going to be Rama only, Rama, Rama. That is the right way of saying. Depending on one's own place that you live in, the pronunciation changes. So it has got nothing to do with honor or something like that. Just a style, how people say. Because our own mother tongue and the area where we live, that has got an influence on the way we speak. That's it. Okay?
And one thing I didn't understand, madam. Actually, in our side, when we say spelling Shri, we put SH. In South, it is SRI only.
Which word you are saying?
Shri.
Shri. SRI, they write it that way. Like my own brother's name is Shri Hari, right? When we pronounce, we say Shri. But when he writes his spelling, it is SRI. That is because now on the top of S, you have a small line that they put in. So that indicates that Sh. So therefore, that is a way of writing. Now, especially if you go to north side, when you write, they write the spelling of Krishna, right? They write K-R-S-H. They don't include that I there. So some people have this way of writing. Some people will say, like in central Maharashtra, when you speak, you say Krishna. It is not Krishna at all. Or they say Sanskrit and all that. That is that oo, they signify that. It is not like that. So like this, little differences are there, but the pronunciation remains the same. Like you say Shri, the way you write, though the way of writing sometimes differs, but mainly it is because, as you said, tradition wise. North side people write it with an H, south side people write it with an I. Some people will write S-H-R-E-E, that way also they write it. Originally in Sanskrit it is Shri-Hi, in fact. You have a Visarga there. So it is just due to regional influences. So nothing, we cannot say that it is wrong or right. Because little influence always we have because of the place that we live and the language that we speak. That's it.
The same way we say as Lakshmi, L-A-X-M-I. Pronounced the same, but you write it as L-A-K-S-H-M-I.
Now that the right spelling has to be L-A-K-S-H-M-I only. I don't know from where that L-A-X has come in. So that, because usually L-A-X has got nothing to do, right? But L-A-K is the right spelling, that how people write. So that is the reason in English, if you see, there can be many, like English, the number of letters is also less, right? So when I write S-H, and that is the reason, if you see in most of the classes or something we learn, I always tell you refer to the Sanskrit text. Reason being this problem takes place. Because when I write there K-R-I-S-H-N-A, Krishna, I know what is Krishna, so I am pronouncing it Krishna. But maybe a person does not know who is Krishna. He will go by the spelling, he will say it is Krishna, right? Because K-R-I is Kri. But no, we know that it is not Kri, it is Kr. So there are, because of the language it happens, therefore it is better that we stick to the main language only. And even in the case of names also it is the same thing. When you are talking about, you say Krishna, Shri Hari, Lakshmi or whatever you are asking, like Rama and so on, you can go as per Sanskrit knowledge because the original names are in Sanskrit. Okay? Rajanji, you want to say something?
Yes, I was trying to tell that whatever this spelling and the pronunciation which was raised by Sanjeevji is very relevant. According to me, it could be the British influence on our language and whatever was convenient to their mouths for addressing, they distorted accordingly, and that's how Lakshmi came, L-U-X-M-I or L-A-X-M-I instead of L-A-K-S-H-M-I, Lakshmi. Same with Sri, Shri and all other names. Slowly and steadily, I think we are reversing it by going back to the original Sanskrit. But this is taking some time.
Now you know from how this Lakshmi, that L-A-X has come in, because of the, just as he said, of the British influence due to the 1857 revolution that we had, because we had the Rani of Jhansi who was there. Even today if you go, some people say Jhansi, some people say Jhansi, right? So that is a way of pronunciation. So because the Britishers used to address her, and that's the reason the spelling, if you see till date, has become Rani Lakshmi by L-A-X. So though we write L-A-X, the pronunciation is still like that. So like this, there can be a few differences that are there, mainly because of the influence of other languages that come. A very simple thing. Today we are fighting for that. Sindhu, Hindu. People were Sindhu, Sindhavasi, Sindhu. On the Indus river we have today. Sindhu river was called as Indus. They changed the name, right? Indus. Indus, where does it flow? It is the river that partitions India and Pakistan, right? So people who live on the other side of the Sindh river, they were called as Sindhus. I think a few of us, we saw this in the Bhavishya Purana, you get the reference. It was basically Sindhus. Today that S has been removed. They could not pronounce that properly, they made it as Hindus, and we developed that Hindus into a great religion called Hinduism, and we term that great and so on. Basically, if you see Hinduism, is that a religion and so on, as per the definition, it does not fit into a concept of religion at all. And today we have so much of controversy, this and that. But a very simple concept was, people who lived on the other side of the Sindhu river, they were termed as Sindhus. The Britishers could not pronounce it properly, it turned out to be Hindus. That is a very simple philosophy. The dharma that we follow is called Sanatana Dharma, that's it. But because the dharma, the religion that was followed by the people living on the other side of the Sindhu river, they were Hindus. The religion or the practices that they followed was Hinduism, put under a tag called Hinduism. We are facing so many controversies, you are a Hindu, you are a Muslim, you are a Christian and so on, right? So, and that is the reason why you see even most of, that is breaking news today, right, with regards to conversions and this and that. We never find conversions taking place in Hinduism. Have you ever heard of someone getting converted into Hindu? It does happen in few places where we were all born Muslims and then someone comes in, born Christians. Very rare. They themselves, out of their choice, maybe they change. Beyond that, Hindus, we never force someone. Like even when marriages and all takes place. As far as I know, I have never seen someone getting converted to Hinduism. We see the other way around. Maybe a person who practices Hinduism might get converted to some other religion. That is the reason. This is one thing which we as Hindus must surely learn from other religions. Saying that, I am not talking about conversions, but to stick to your religion or to stick to your practices. That doesn't mean that we don't respect other religions, but the religion that you follow or the practice, more than religion, let us call it as practice, you must stick to that. You see, none of the other religions, they will, at the cost of their religion or practice, they will never give up. Even though let it be an intercaste marriage or whatever it is, maybe they will tell the other person, they will tell the Hindu to get converted. But beyond them, they themselves will never get converted. They will always stick to their roots, right? Be it a husband or a wife. And in case when, maybe even if a woman gets married, she is a Muslim only. She doesn't get converted easily, right? Because in Hinduism, we don't have much the practice of conversion that takes place. Because we are an open dharma, that is there. Open dharma is an open practice. Because we don't follow one book, one guru, one teacher. If now though here all 30 of us, even though we say that we are Hindus, no, all of us, we refer only to the Gita. We have only one religious guru whom we follow. It's not at all like that. We have so many books. I might follow the Gita, you might follow the Ramayana, third person might follow the Mahabharata, fourth person will say, I don't follow any book, I just live a life of my own. That is also fine. So in Hinduism, it is an open religion or an open practice that is there. So again, not to speak against any religion or person, but then why is so much of controversy we are even facing today? That is because of this, the way people speak, that is there. So Hindus and Sindhus, all this controversy has taken place. So before we comment, today we see so much of problems and issues taking place. Before we comment and speak about anything, we must be very, very sure. We must be very knowledgeable about reading our own history that is there. Without reading, without knowing anything, making comments is very, very wrong. And now maybe we ourselves don't make comments, but believing those comments is still very, very. We do that, right? Something is in breaking news. Look at this, the way he has explained is so nice, we start believing that person. Someone comes and says, no, Ravana is a great hero, Rama is only a fool, we start believing him. I'm not saying that you must decline here. Maybe you do your own research and find out why the person is saying Ravana is a great hero. That is the reason in a few previous sessions I told you, right? There are a few books written by a few people, maybe portraying the side of Sita through Ramayana through the lens of Sita and all that. That doesn't mean, or maybe they fight for feminism against Agni Pariksha, against why Rama left Sita in the forest and so on. We must read that books. I'm not saying that we should be against that. No, I will not read such a book. How can you even say this? We must not make such comments. The point of view might be different. Now, the way I think, way you can also think the way you want, right? We cannot force anyone to think. No, Rama is only a great hero. He has left Sita. That is very wrong. We have to go and punish Rama. It's not like that. Or at the same time, no, Sita was left in the forest. It is Rama's duty. Rama followed Raja Dharma. Therefore, Sita. We have to. What was done with Sita was right. We cannot even say that way. Maybe one person might like the way Rama did. One person might not like the way Rama did, right? So we have to respect everyone's views. But when it comes to believing something, always believe only what you find is true. Same case now also. When I am referring to the Valmiki Ramayanam, I am saying that no, so and so thing happened. You must, from your end, do your research. Just because I am telling something, you must never believe it. That this doesn't mean that we don't believe people. But when such controversies come in, is this right, is that right? Tomorrow 4 people will come and question us. Our own young generation comes and questions. Your own children will come and question. Grandchildren will come and question. At that time, no, I don't know how it is. This is what my teacher told. I was attending some Ramayana session. She told me, so I am believing that. I have written that in a book. You also read that. The grandchild will run away saying that you are only fools. Someone is telling you something, you are believing that. You give me a proof. And the next question will ask, why did Rama did this? Why did Sita did that? Such questions come, you tell, no, I don't know the answers of all this. This is what has been told. I have been believing, you also believe. Child will never ever believe. And this is where we create problems. And we see that. That's when we lose out our own scriptures and books going away, because you are not giving people valid answers. Why will a person believe them, right? So therefore, not only for questioning and answering someone, but from our side, we have to be very, very apt. Now, when I say that I have read the Valmiki Ramayana, even if anyone comes and questions, I can show you with proofs that it is mentioned in the Ramayana, therefore I know. But if I say that, no, if I listen to someone saying that, someone comes and says, no, in the Ramayana it is mentioned so and so, the Valmiki Ramayana, I say, okay. And then I go and tell the third person, no, that person told that it is there in the Valmiki Ramayana. Instead of that, let me myself go and check the book, right? Now, all of us, mostly the Ramayana is there. Ramayana is just one example. Ramayana is already there in our books. Today, when you delve deep into Puranas and so on, you get so much of information. Few of us, we are learning together. At that time, you see that things that we don't know, or things that we have been believing just blindly all these years, that has been mentioned in the Puranas. You have so many books, so many scriptures. Problem is, we are not opening and reading that. Right? So therefore, whenever we read the Ramayana, my suggestion or my advice to all of you is, don't just merely believe. Just because, even if in my case also, I am telling you something, okay, that is there, you have listened. From your side, you must do the research. Like when I told about Chaya Sita or something, when I say the Lakshman Rekha episode is not there, you must immediately go and check in the Valmiki Ramayana, is this there? She said so, but I believe that Lakshman Rekha is there. How can she say that? You must find out in their books, and maybe in the next time if you find something which is against what I told, you must come and tell that, no, maybe we need not fight and argue. You can say, no, what you said, I found that in so and so book. So is that correct? Or the way you said, was that right? I feel that this is the right way. So this is how healthy discussions is very, very important. And when we do this, we don't have to refer, we don't have to believe anyone at all. We don't have to stick to someone's commentaries. If he tells his way of understanding, I will look into that. We need people who have to explain. We need commentaries to understand perfectly. But we must always have the reference of the original text that is there. So this is very, very important. Okay, now coming back to Samkshepa Ramayana. Okay, so now I hope all your doubts are clear till now. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's continue. Now Samkshepa Ramayana starts with Rama, who has reached Bharadwaja. He sends Hanuman. So this is towards the concluding part of Sarga 1. Punarakhyaikam jalpan sugriva sahitashcha saha pushpakam tat samaruhya nandigramam yayau tada. Bharata is living in Nandigrama, so Rama first goes and he meets Bharata. And all the monkeys, Sugriva, Vibhishana, everyone has accompanied Rama. Nandigrame jatam hitva bhratrabhis sahito nagaha Rama Sita manuprapya rajam punaravaptavan. The jatha, both Rama and Lakshmana who had taken up, they removed that. That is, they were living as sannyasis, right? So sannyasis, they give up their jata, because being a grihastha, you must not have a jata. So they give up upon that, and they come in, they go inside Ayodhya, they start entering Ayodhya to get back their kingdom. Prarishtamudito lokaha tushtah pushtah sudharmikaha niramayo hyarogashcha durbhikshamaya varjitaha. The people of Ayodhya were very happy. Ramaraja was going to be established again. All the people of Ayodhya were waiting for Rama, Sita and Lakshmana to return. Everyone is very happy. And in Ramarajya, now this is after the coronation of Rama, the last sarga of Yuddhakandam, Rama Pattabhishekam. It can be 129, 130 or 131 depending on each one's books. The numbering is different. So for your understanding, note down the last sarga of Yuddhakandam is Rama Pattabhishekam. What happened after Rama's coronation? Everyone was happy. They said that the doors in Ayodhya were not locked at all. There was no concept of locks. There is no thieves at all. All the people were happy. There was no shortage for anything, be it food, no diseases at all. Everyone was living very, very happily. न पुत्रमरणं किञ्चित् रक्षन्ति पुरुषाः क्वचित् नार्यश्च विधवा नित्यं भविष्यन्ति पतिव्रताः. During the period of Ramarajya, no untimely deaths took place. No woman died as a widow. They were all devoted. Now here, pativrataha. Now here one doubt will arise, right, in all of your minds. Why pativrataha? Why should a woman only be devoted to her husband? Why cannot it be the other way around? Now, this doubt will come in. Or even in Adi Shankaracharya's Bhajagovindam, if you say, Bharya bibhyati tasmin kale, this line comes here saying that once the husband dies away, the wife starts fearing his own body. That is, the significance is when a person dies, it can be a very close relationship, but people start fearing. Nobody will live with a dead body, right? No, it is the body of my mother, I live with that. We don't say that. So why here you have again only the wife fearing? Even the husband can also fear, right? When the wife dies, the husband can also fear. So is this some kind of discrimination that is being shown? Why only the wife is being shown? Why only the husband is shown as a hero and the wife is, maybe she has to be very chaste, she should not die as a widow, she should be devoted to her husband, she will fear the dead body. All this part is mentioned. A very simple, clear explanation is, all these texts are written by a male. In the case of Ramayana, it is Valmiki. In the case of Bhajagovindam, it is Adi Shankaracharya. So they are writing from a male outlook. Now when I write a text, say for example, I will write with a female outlook, right? So maybe in that I will say not Bharya, I will say Bharta bibhyati tasmin kale. That is a husband might fear. Because I am imagining myself in that place, right? That is, when I die, what will happen? Maybe my wife will cry for me. That is, when a man dies, what will happen? Adi Shankaracharya is thinking with that aspect. Here also Valmiki is thinking with that aspect. He is keeping himself there. He is keeping a male. He is keeping a pullingam there. And Ramaraja, Rama is also a pullingam. So he says that when a husband is there, so this again, when we say devotion, or when a wife has to be devoted, husband also has to be devoted. There is no discrimination at all. So when things are being poked up, saying that why it is like that, or it is a very male approach, our society is male, patriarchal and all that, it is because the authors who have written all this, they themselves are male. So they cannot write from a female's outlook, right? Female perspective they cannot give. Now when I am speaking something, I will always put myself first. I will always maybe think about females. How a female will think, I will maybe put upon that, right? Or maybe if males are there, you will always place yourself first. Now when you say that when a person dies, the wife will cry, why he mentions that the wife will cry? Because he himself is male, he puts himself in that place. So this is the reason why, wherein here also we say pativrataha. That is because Valmiki is a male, he imagines himself in that place and he writes. So therefore, because the authors are males, they put themselves in the place, and that is the reason they write that. So that doesn't mean, so they make a generalized statement. Now, though they give examples of women being devoted to their husbands, pativrataha, Rama himself mentions that I am a patnivrataha. That is the reason he does not go and marry Shurpanakha. He could have done that. There he makes a statement, I am eka patnivrata, I have taken this vrata. That's the reason till the end. Even when Sita goes away to the forest, or when Sita was abducted by Ravana, Rama does not marry any wife. He stays all alone. He stays crying for Sita, but he does not give up on his patni dharma. That is eka patni dharma. So therefore we have to note such things. Why I am telling you all this, all of you might be knowing it. But when such doubts come in, why it is mentioned like this, especially women, you might have a doubt, or young people are there, youngsters, you might have a doubt. Why always? Even I myself feel so. Why always we have to talk only about men and so on? It's just because the hero is the author, he himself is a male, he writes in his way of thinking. He puts himself there, he imagines and he writes, but it is a generalized statement for both men and women. That's the reason when we say men, me and men, we say mankind. In mankind, both men, women, both are included, right? So it is somewhat similar to like that. So Ramaraja, everything was very peaceful. न चाग्निजं भयं किञ्चिन्नाप्सुमज्जन्ति जन्तवः नवातजं भयं किञ्चिन्नापिज्वरकृतं तथा न चापि क्षुद्भयं तत्र न तस्करभयं तथा न चाग्निजं, no fire coming in, water, wind, disease, that is flood like situation, or maybe like a storm, hunger, disease, theft, taskara is theft. So no, you think of any problem, such a problem did not exist in Ramarajya. नगराणि च राष्ट्राणि धनधान्ययुतानि च नित्यं प्रमुदिताः सर्वे यथा कृतयुगे तथा. Nagarani, Rashtrani, all the cities and villages, they were all dhanadanya, they were all very, very prosperous with food, wealth and everything. And everyone was nityam pramudita, everyone was always happy, just like Krita Yuga. Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga. In the Satya Yuga, everyone was happy, everyone was good, there was no negativity at all. So, though Rama was living in a Treta Yuga, there were some negative elements like Ravana, but once such negative elements were thrown off, people living in Ramarajya were also experiencing Satya Yuga. अश्वमेधशतैरष्ट्वा तथा बहुसुवर्णकैः गवां कोट्ययुतं दत्त्वा ब्रह्मलोकं प्रयास्यति असंख्येयं धनं दत्त्वा ब्राह्मणेभ्यो महायशाः. And finally Rama decides to do the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Now Sita has been sent to the forest, all that is done here. Then he decides and he donates in gold, hundreds and thousands of cows and gold wealth to the Brahmins are one who does this. So here the Phalashruti of Ashwamedha is mentioned, that if you do this, that you do mass donation, you will return to Brahmaloka, that is you will get Brahmaloka. Rajavamshan Chatagunan Sthapayishyati Raghavah Chaturvarnyam cha lokesmin swe swe dharme niyokshati. Now here if you see from this verse onwards, did you find any difference in this verse and the previous verse? 93, wherein just read, you can see if you can make out something. 93 and 94. Maybe you look at the English meaning, you can feel some difference, a very small difference, but what is that? Can anyone make out? No?
It's in the past tense.
What is in the past tense? 93.
That
all the cities and villages will be happy, that is the past tense. And this verse is in future tense, right? Why so? Geetuji says that this previous verse is in the past tense. People lived happily. All the cities and villages were full of wealth. Everything is past. This verse it changes. You see, Rama does the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Phalashruti is you go to Brahmaloka. What happened? It is mentioned that he will return to Brahmaloka. In the previous verse, if you see, everything was there, people lived happily and so on. But now, Ashwamedha sacrifice is about to start, and when Rama does, he will return to Brahmaloka, that is, he will ascend to Vaikuntham once his avatara is done. Why this change of tense? Can anyone guess?
Valmiki wrote Ramayana before this happened.
Yes, correct.
He just feels
correct.
See in future that this is going to happen.
Now, if you remember, correct. Now, if you remember the first, yeah, the same thing, correct. Now, if you remember, tapaswadhyaya niratam tapasvi vakvidamvaram naradam paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. After Rama had returned back to Ayodhya, only then Valmiki has started questioning Narada. So, till Ramarajya, that is till Rama's coronation, Ramayana is already done. And from that point onwards, only Valmiki has started writing Ramayana. So, till Rama's coronation, everything is past. Ramarajya, everything is past. The later part, because now when Valmiki is writing Ramayana, Sita has not come to her hermitage. So therefore, come to his hermitage, sorry. So therefore, everything will be future henceforth. So he starts predicting a few things and he says that Ashwamedha sacrifice will be done. Rama will return by taking all the Phalashruti, he will go to Brahmaloka, he will ascend the heavens and so on. From this verse onwards starts the Uttarakandam. Some people do not consider Uttarakandam to be a part of Ramayana. We have discussed this in initial discussion sessions also. Why so? Because time period might differ. Whatever has happened, maybe Valmiki has written in one flow, but the later part, though today it is added to the original Ramayana, Valmiki, if you see Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are not imaginations. Therefore, predictions is fine, but all the predictions have turned out to be true, right? So therefore, only what has happened, Ramayana and Mahabharata are like report writing. Only whatever has happened, Valmiki and Vyasa have portrayed that similarly. So here when things that have not happened, how come Valmiki has mentioned? For this there are two answers. But as far as I have seen, some people say that the style of writing of Uttarakandam and all the other 6 kandams, still Yuddha Kanda is different. I personally could not find any difference. It is the same chanda, style of writing, style of words, everything is the same. The only explanation for this could be that there could be a difference in the time period. That is maybe till the coronation part, that is still Ramaraja, Valmiki could have written together, and then maybe he took a pause, and once the remaining things happened, he could have written that. But then a second question should come, if he had done that, then why did he write in future tense? If once the things are done and then he would have started writing, he could have written in the past only, right? But then no. Today he knew that in future people will look at the Ramayana and we are going to read it in one flow. We are not going to think so much, okay, till here everything has happened in past, till here it's going to be future, Valmiki took a break and so on. These are all just assumptions that are being made. We never know in reality whether Valmiki took a break and so on, because it can also happen that he made predictions and those predictions turned out to be true. So today we get everything in a full-fledged form of Ramayana, 7 kandas. Only thing is you see a difference in the tense. From the past it has become future, that's it. For us everything is past today. For us now, thousands of years back Ramayana has taken place. So even the Uttarakanda, Sita reaching Valmiki's hermitage, Rama doing Ashwamedha, for us everything is past. But in those times we have the original Ramayana when such things, though Valmiki predicted, or he was being told by Narada that so and so things are going to happen. Narada is a Devarishi, so with the help of Brahma, he had got the Divya Drishti, right? So he could see what was going to take place and maybe he would have written that. But then why he did not write it in past? The reason being those things had not taken place, they were going to take place in future, therefore he had written that in future. So therefore, did Valmiki write, or was there some other person who came and wrote the Uttarakanda? As far as evidences go, it has to be Valmiki only. Maybe there can be a slight difference in the time period because the things had not yet happened, so he had to wait, or maybe he wrote it in the same flow because of Brahma's and Narada's help. He could already see what was going to happen, so he would have written, but only the tense would be future because the things had not already taken place. Or a third reason, maybe the predictions he just wrote and kept and they turned out to be true also. Predictions because of his the great tapasya, and he knew Brahma also came and helped him what was going to happen and so on. So that is the reason why from this verse onwards you see will return to Brahmaloka, Bhavishya-kalaha, future tense has taken place. So whenever we study and read something, we have to be very, very attentive. We have to open our eyes and see. Not open our eyes physically, we have to open our minds also. Otherwise here out of the 30 people, only 1 or 2 people opened their eyes. Rest everyone's eyes are open, mine is not open. Right? So all these are very small differences, but you must know. Doesn't make a big difference. Now what is going to happen? Till 93 he is talking in past, 94 is future. What is the use to me? Everything has happened, right? For me today everything is past. For you today everything is past. But here this itself shows that the same Ramayana which was there during Valmiki's times, today also after thousands of years we are also studying the same Ramayana. That is the reason these verses are in future, and through this we come to know that there is no one who has made some moderations. Otherwise we see so many printing takes place, right? So many publication, first print, second print, third print, and every time you see some of the other moderations are added. In the Ramayana it is not at all done so. Otherwise, if some moderations were added by a scholar who came in the later period, he would have written everything in past. Because things have already happened, why should I write in future? It is not done that. Therefore, we have to be very, very blessed. We have the original Ramayana only till date. Again here, it dismisses all the myths that are there, whether Ramayana is true, who wrote the Ramayana, is it a fiction story and so on. If it is fiction, we will never have the original Ramayana in front of us. All of you also in your Valmiki Ramayana books that you have, you can go and check about this verse, and also the Yuddha Kandam, in the Uttarakandam, the words that he speaks about. In that you have things that are mentioned in future. So this are to maybe convince our own self. We need not always wait for someone to come and question us, to convince ourselves that thousands of years later also, so many years have passed. We have the entire Dwapara Yuga which has gone, Kali Yuga little has already started, 1/4 is done. In spite of all this, we have yugas that are gone and we are still referring to the original Ramayana. This itself shows that how great this epic is. Not to just boast about the epic, but to show that when we claim, takes only a minute to claim that something is false, but it will take hundreds and hundreds of years to prove that something is true. We have evidences in front of us, front of our eyes. You have to just interpret it in the right way. Oh, continue. Rajavamsha Shatagunan Sapayashati Ragavaha Chaturvaranyam च लोकेऽस्मिन् स्वे स्वे धर्मे नियोक्ष्यति. What will Rama do later? He will establish a lot of dynasties he will bring a lot of kingdoms under Ayodhya, under the Kosaladesha, and Chaturvaranyam च लोकेऽस्मिन्, all the 4 classes. Now when we say caste, again note that Sve Sve Dharme Niyokshati. Krishna also does the same thing in the Gita. Chaturvaranyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. Based on one's qualities and karma action, the society will be divided into 4 parts. Today that is Brahmana, Vaishya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Nothing, never ever it has been mentioned anywhere that Brahmana is a top, Shudra is a low. That is all mankind. We have created this system today. Therefore, Rama also, now you have 2 references. When people come and poke fingers, no, this is caste system, you are low, I am less, you are low, I am high, and so on. When people say, you have 2 proofs. One is the Sakshepa Ramayanam, second is the Gita, 4th chapter we have. When we speak with proofs, nobody can open their mouth. And at the same time, it is convincing to our own self. Where it is mentioned that 4 castes were created to show that you belong to a low class, you belong to a high class, nowhere it is there. What they say is, Rama also says the same thing, Sve Sve Dharme Niyokshati. What is Dharma? Loosely people translate Dharma as religion, spirituality. Dharma is just righteousness, good behavior, based on one's actions. If you are into the teaching line, you belong to a Brahmana community. If you are responsible for taking care of the kingdom, you belong to a Kshatriya. That is the reason Krishna tells Arjuna, first duty is to take care of your welfare. So there you don't sit and cry thinking about your enemies, cousins and so on. But here the second question comes in is, does not humanity exist? Humanity is the greatest religion, right? Beyond all this. So then for that also Krishna has an answer. He says that we have already been human. But still the Kauravas who are there, they want our own laws. That is the reason they are denying your own rights. And this is causing further trouble to the subjects in Hastinapura. They are also being tortured by Duryodhana. And we have tried our very best. It's not that Duryodhana spoke against you and in the first instance only you came and you are going to fight a war with him. It's not like that. 12 years you went to Vanvasa. 1 year you stayed in incognito and disguise. In spite of all that, then you spent some time in the forest. Even Kunti also followed you. And in the end also so many things. Now if you read the entire Mahabharata, right from birth, if you see, the Pandavas, Kauravas always had an enmity with Pandavas. They used to always see that they will be lost. You see, even in the game of dice that they have, Yudhishthira loses everything, even at the cost of Draupadi. Right? In spite of facing all this, and towards the end also, Krishna is sent as a peace messenger. Shanti Duta, Krishna is sent. He tells Duryodhana that you can choose, but please, we can avoid this war. You give Pandavas their share, you can also get their share. Still, Duryodhana refuses. Finally, the war is inevitable. There also Krishna gives a choice. Krishna says that I belong to both of you, therefore he himself does not participate in the war. He says, you want Narayana, you want the Narayani Sena. Duryodhana feels, what will this one Narayana do? I will choose your entire Sena, Narayani Sena. Krishna, in spite of being the cousin of Pandavas, he gives his own army to Duryodhana. And he stays with Arjuna and the Pandavas. The Pandavas war, how could they war? Narayana himself was with them. In spite of choosing the Narayani Sena also, the Kauravas destroyed. So what the point that is being told is, when Arjuna raises a question saying that these are my cousins, these are my teachers, but then Krishna tells that from ours, and he says that humanity is important beyond being a Kshatriya, my dharma and all that. Krishna gives a very beautiful explanation. He says that we have given our best. You have already convinced your cousins. Whatever they had to do, you lost in the game of dice, you went into disguise, you lost your own wife, your all 4 brothers, Yudhishthira gave up. You stayed for 12 years in Vanavasa, 1 year in incognito, you returned back, so much you have been facing. Last I was also sent as a Shanti Duta. I gave them my own Narayani Sena. Now the war is inevitable. When we have done everything from our side, when there is no other option, you have to stand up for yourself, because dharma is first. You are a kshatriya. For you, protecting your kingdom and your own people is your first duty. Stand up for that. That is the gist of the Gita, right? So here also it is the same thing. Chaturvaranyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah. And again proves, Krishna tells us in the Gita, here Rama says Chaturvaranyam cha lokesmin sve sve dharmeni yokshati, depending on one's karma. If Rama and Krishna and all the gods wanted to say that Brahmanas are high and Shudras are low, Rama and Krishna both would be born as Brahmins, right? Rama was a Kshatriya, Krishna was a Yadava, that is, he was a Vaishya. He belonged to the business community. That's the reason they used to be dealing with milk and milk products, right? Selling of milk, curds and so on. Every day he used to take the cows for rearing. Nowhere it has been mentioned. We don't know from where this concept has come. Brahmins are high, Shudras are low, this, that and everything, right? And in fact, the Purusha Sukta says that the Shudras are born from the leg of the Lord. So, and the leg is only considered to be the highest form, or you can say highest form of surrender. When you have to surrender in front of God, we fall at someone's feet. We don't look at their head, right? We don't look at the hands or some other part. We only fall at the feet. We keep our head on someone's feet. That itself shows the greatness of the part. So the point is, there is no discrimination at all in those times. And why even this concept was created? If you have this doubt now, the concept was created because in those times. Today, just as we have so many professions, teachers, doctors, this, that, everything, and today's times, you see every day some new profession comes in, right? You ask someone, what are you doing? They will tell you something different only. Now I make blogs, I write some content, this, that, and you wonder what exactly you do in this. You go and ask that person, right? And you come to know so many new professions. In those times, the society was not that well established that you will have different professions. It was a small village system. Today we have so many ministries, right? Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Urban, Rural Development, Agriculture, this, that. In those times it was not there. But still, things were needed, right? Today we have all the resources that are there. You have separate ministries taking care of different things. In those times also all these things were needed. People were there. People were engaged in different occupations, but all the system was not there. Different ministries were not there. Different professions were not there. Therefore, the system was developed, saying that those who are into the teaching line, they will be teachers. Those who are in the those who are kshatriyas, they will be responsible for the welfare of the part, taking care of the subjects, the village mainly. And those who are vaishyas, they will take care of the business part, money, economy. Those who are shudras, they will take care of the housekeeping and the service is that is there. Most of us today, we are all working in the service sector. We are all equal to shudras only. So the point that I am trying to say is, nothing, nowhere ever, be it the Ramayana or be it the Mahabharata or the Gita, nowhere the Lord shows any kind of discrimination. We have only jumped to conclusions. No one knows from where it has come in, and till date we have been following that. So now we know very, very clear. You have a proof even in the Sankshepa Ramayana dismissing the caste system totally. दशवर्षसहस्राणि दशवर्षशतानि च रामो राज्यमुपासित्वा ब्रह्मलोकं प्रपास्यति. After living for about 11 years, 11,000 years or so, finally Rama attained Brahmaloka. Idam pavitram papagnam punyam vedaisya sammitam yah pated ramacharitam sarva papai pramuchyate. Now the Palashruti part of Sankshepa Ramayana says that the story of Rama is very, very sacred. All your papas will reduce. It is equal to studying the Vedas, and whoever reads it will be free from all sin. Sarva papai pramuchyate. Etadakhyanamaayushyam pathan Ramayanam naraha suputra pautrassa ganaha pretya swarge mahiyate. Leads to long life, and even in heaven also people will worship those who read the Ramayana. So basically, even though we are not able to read the original Ramayana, at least the Sankshepa Ramayana, all of you can make it a practice to read at least maybe every Saturday, or maybe on every Ekadashi, or maybe at least on the Ramnavami day, or any special occasions whenever you get time. At least the Sankshepa Ramayana, the first 100 verses that we have seen, you must read that. Pathan dvijo vag rishabhatvamiyat syakshatriyo bhumipatetvamiyat Vanijjanah panya phalattvamiyat janascha shudropi mahattvamiyat. Palashruti for all the 4 classes has been mentioned. Brahmin, learning, all the 18 different branches of learning, that is, there are many, many branches of learning on different subjects. A person will become a scholar. A Kshatriya, he wants to annex and bring more lands and kingdoms under his control. he will achieve victory there. A Vaishya will succeed in his business, and a Shudra will attain greatness by reading Ramayana. Now, why nothing has been mentioned specifically for Shudras? Reason being, in future Rama, Krishna could make out that people will be working in different fields. Today we have so many services, right? Service sector, we all work in the service sector. I might be working in a particular sector, you might be working in some other department. Everyone wants success in their own fields. Therefore, a generalized statement is made: Kshatriya Janatvami, Janatva Shudropi Mahatvamiya. Whatever you do, you will achieve greatness. This is the last shloka of Sankshepa Ramayana. 100 verses, we have seen that entire Sankshepa Ramayana. This is the first sarga of Balakandam. So we have not only dealt with, not delved inside Balakandam at all. This is just the first sarga, Sankshepa Ramayana, we have seen Now from maybe now today time is up to start something new. From the next session onwards, we will delve deeply into Balakandam. Now for all the other sargas of Balakandam, maybe we cannot look verse by verse. For Sankshepa Ramayana, we have seen all the 100 verses. So we will be a few important verses, and at sargas we will have a gist that is there. That is maybe these 2-3 sargas talk about this, 3-4 sargas talk about this, and so on. So from the next session onwards, we will look upon that. Today though we have some time left, let's not start with something new, otherwise we have to stop in between. So we'll stop here for today. Anyone wants to ask or say something, you can stay back.